Yo, what it do? It's your boy Chef. What's going on? What it do? Right now we got 6 people in the spot. That's not enough people. Come on, man. Come on, man. You know we better than that. We are better than that. We could do better than that. Got a very, very, very important question. Very important question that I asked at the end of the last show. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. How's everyone doing tonight? Hello? You hear somebody saying something, yo. What's good? 100 watts all day. I see you. My man. Smoke break. Quantum love. A1 day one. I see you. Big Glensky. What it do? Yeah, man. Yo, 100 watts jump. Oh, damn. You read my mind. I was like, yo, 100 watts jump on. All right, cool. Let me go and throw this link in here as well. Quick look over here. Well, ignore the echo. That's struggle stream stuff right there. So let me say what's up to all the homies in the spot. We got Vic, we got Quantum, we got Lensky, we got Andrea. Don't want to piss nobody off. Montgomery, Rob P, Mr. Presley. What's up? I see you. You put Mrs. P to bed and now you out with the big dogs. Don't worry, we're gonna bring you home so she don't lock you out, change the locks on you. You know what I mean? Where the homies at? Let me see where my homies at. What up, King? What it do? You see that link, bro? You already know you got a key to the stash house. Come on. What's good? I see 100 watts vibing over there.
What's the play, Chef?
What it do? Oh, yo, 100 watts.
My man.
Yo, I owe you an apology, bro.
What you mean?
Yo, so I was looking at one of the streams that we did a few nights ago, right? Last week.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm getting my chops up with working the chat and then going to the YouTube stream and then coming back, right? I watched it. Yo, that shit was hilarious. There was one point I had you on the screen by yourself for like 7 minutes and you wasn't talking.
Yo,
Yo, bro, wait. And here was the funniest part. I'm going to imitate you, right? It was like this. You was there, right? And I was like, damn, I left him up there like 6-7 minutes. And it was like you was there and you was listening and you was looking down. And then you would come up like this and be like, oh, shit. And there wasn't nobody. You weren't even talking. Nobody else was on the screen or you. And then you go put your head down. And then you came back up. I was like, oh, shit. So I didn't want you to think I was trolling you. That shit was hilarious. And I was like, yo, he probably trying to pull on the L, trying to pull in the blood or something.
No. So I already knew you was like trying to figure it out, like sliding around. But it's like sometimes I do that because I'm listening, like I'm trying to receive what you're saying, and then you hear those couple of words that come together. But hold on, wait, what?
Yeah, I might have to chop that one down, yo, because I can't even lie, yo. That shit was funny as hell because he was there, you was down there, and then you looked up and you went, this is your face. You went like this. He was like.
Oh no, I just turned the camera off for that.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure, like, say we had beef or something, you would have been like, oh, he was trolling me right there. You know what I mean? But you know what it is, man. It's all love. It's all love. Yo, Vic, what's popping, son?
What's good, Chef? I'm just over here in notebook mode now, man. That last question got my mind spinning.
Yeah, man. That was.
I want to hear more about it.
I'm big on not saying, oh, I know this and I know that. I'm big on speaking to what my inspirations are for particular questions, ideas, paradigm shifts, blah, blah, blah. Right. So in that conversation, I started thinking a couple things when I was thinking about chaotic truth and what he was talking about, and what he was saying. And I know some people will look at things from a position. They're gonna look at things from a position where it's like, oh, he feels this way, so there's something wrong with him. But the way I look at it is, he feels this way for a reason.
Right.
Nature, nature, which is the stuff that has happened to him. Nature, which, excuse me, the stuff that he is destined for, or just
Right.
by virtue of who he is or what he is. And then nurture, which is the things that he's learned over the course of the years. So, me trying to be graceful or utilizing grace and thinking about him, I had to ask myself certain questions. And those might have been some of the same questions that I would have asked him, right?
Mm.
So, that's why one of the last things that I asked him about was when I talked about test groups and control groups. And
Right.
when you're doing true clinical testing, the critical need for you to eliminate any uncommon variables from those groups so that you'd have purer results. Because even if there's just 2-3 variations, anything more than what's called the Six Sigma variation, then
Mm.
what happens is your results are skewed, thus leading to fruit of the poison tree, right? So I put that out there for him. Hopefully he'll jump in, you know.
That would be good to talk to him directly. You know,
Mm,
a lot of times,
uh-oh. Dear Lord, please unfreeze Vic. Tell, tell,
yeah, yeah.
tell you tell you them prayers, man. Talk to
Hey,
me.
so if a lot of people, as my observation has seen, um, it wouldn't matter the arena. They gather talking points from people they respect. And if you walked further enough down the road or ran the gauntlet at least once for yourself, you would know the outcomes. You would know, what I mean, the variations and the variables, and that everybody's story isn't the same. But when you have limited access or limited experience, then it kind of, the same way access skews your
Dear Lord, please bless Vic with some fiber. Please allow your precious angels from Verizon, AT&T, and then local internet providers to anoint him with more of your holy gigs for his soul, so that he can continue to shine his message to your sheep, as we are nothing but shepherds,
I
Lord.
love I love how black people can pray about anything.
Right? I'm praying for that internet right now.
I look at me. Huh?
You
Look
see
at me.
that? God
I
is
see
good
what
all the time. All the time, God is good. Hallelujah.
had to switch over to the 4G, man. That Wi-Fi ain't by shit.
Ain't nothing but God.
Hey, but I say when Brother Malcolm came back, his perspective was different. He's the same man, but is he really? So your experiences guide you into that emotional maturity that we be talking about. And if you are a gangster, or if you're a businessman, or if you're I don't know, farmhand, whatever. You pick up the things that you observe from the people you respect. I know this cat went to a good school, but he trained himself to talk like his country cousins and partners so he could be accepted into that group. And he walk around talking. Everybody think he Forrest Gump, but he's really not. He's more the Wolf of Wall Street. But he chose that because these are the people he respects. So when brother Chaotic get to talking, he sound like a lot of other people, in my opinion. Not so much that he doesn't have his own original thoughts. It's just that they're shaped by things I've seen before, and it sounds like plagiarism. I can respect any man's mind if it's his own, even if it counters mine. You know what I'm saying? So I like to have him inside the conversation and let him, elaborate on where these ideas come from. Not so much as a challenge, but to explain.
I definitely would hope that he would come through to speak, because I know he did.
What up, Rel?
Well, he been doing lives all night. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh yeah. That's what he said. He was like, yeah. He was like, yeah. That's why I put something in the chat. He was like, yeah, no mind me. I just been panel hopping all night. What that mean, bro? I said, what did I say?
Chef cooked him slow, like a frog in the pot. Turn that thing on low in it. Sim. Oh my God!
It was just it wasn't that. It was like lightly hickory smoke. You know what I mean? Like a brisket. It takes 13 hours. But no. Seriously though, no, it is all love, and I'm glad you say that. Really, there's nothing wrong with him. The point that I was making is saying, bro, I respect you and I respect where you are. But for some people to be able to feel the way that you feel, they will tend to have the privilege of luck, comma, fortunes, comma, good blessings. And the thing is, if God did it for me, and I'm going to sit there and now go teach classes on how to do it, when in actuality, it was, they talk about that thing with Jim Carrey, a sequence of unfortunate events, when certain blessings, what we call blessings, happen, sometimes they're just a sequence of fortunate events that create a greater outcome, and for him, that's why I said those things to him. It was not for him to react on the show. Remember, this is not for entertainment purposes. So this was not for him to react on the show. There's times when I would say things to people and ask them questions and say, yo, you don't got the answer. Just when you're home alone, just think about it. You get what I mean? A seed is just a little round thing that some people could mistake as dirt. But
would anybody be able to remind me how old the gentleman was? Did we ever touch that?
You don't got all the answers, Sway.
Right. Oh, that's funny. I said, he's like, yeah, that's funny.
I think he said he was 37.
37?
Yeah.
Ooh. And you know what? See, you know what? See, I was about to lead right into the question you asked too.
It was, it was. Go ahead, talk to me. I put it out there for a reason. I wanted somebody to take the bait. Come with it.
So this is where you said there was a man. He would walk down the street.
I put it up for you, as a matter of fact, just so that.
Okay, so I make sure
so you have a point of reference. Yep. Boom.
Man one falls into two separate holes on the same street twice in the same day. Man two walks totally unscathed down the same street for a whole week. Who is smarter, man one or man two? I 100% will always say man one.
Let's say
yo, I shouldn't have even brought your ass up here, man. Now I got to come with some other topics. You done been lambasting my whole shit. Hold on, let me call Mr. Watkins, get your ass out of here.
Say why?
Here's why I
So,
would always say,
give me the
man.
why. Give me the why. Let's talk about it.
So, for example, let's take the young age of a man at 21, right? By the time I hit 21, I had already joined the Air Force, served in Afghanistan, came home, found a job, and started building for my family, right? By 21. Most people that I've been around by 21 have, if they haven't went to college, haven't even left their city yet. So with what I experienced in that 2-3 year time period between 18 and 21 is a whole lot more than what somebody who walked down the street and never hit a pothole. You never bumped into a light pole. You never got hit by a branch. You know what I'm saying? Like if you step in holes, now you figure out how to step in a hole and not roll your ankle. Maybe you learn how to jump over the hole next time. Maybe next time you don't step in a hole at all. Like you start figuring out where the weak spots in the street is. Like there's no way that you're gonna get anywhere in life without experience, and you're gonna have to get hit in the mouth, especially as a man. You're gonna have to get hit in the mouth.
I offer you a question.
Okay.
What if man 2 was walking behind man 1?
Yo, man, y'all listen, man. So we're gonna end up ending this show in like 9 minutes, man. I'm trying to take y'all down rabbit holes, and y'all just sending the camera. Y'all sending the camera down the holes, so nobody want to jump into shit. Yo, man, I should have put the goofy guys on the show tonight.
You know he's gonna break that thing down.
Goofy dude Tuesdays.
I mean, hey, you know, I can take a quick smoke break. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, listen, let me tell you. So, you guys literally kind of defined or delineated the two sides of that question. You know, one person would say, me naturally, without thinking about the other variables, would say, man 1 is smarter. Why? Because we always talk about fail and fail fast. Mm-hmm. We always talk about the lessons that can come from early failure, because you understand the pitfalls, the holes, the things that you have to navigate and circumvent in order to travel that road down to whatever goal you have. So the people that have failed normally will be more prepared because they understand how to get hurt. The people who have never failed may find themselves in a position where they will end up learning failure or failing when there's more to lose and they had no idea what to avoid, right? Perfect. Now let's move back to the other side. There was a little caveat. I didn't think anybody was going to catch it. The other caveat was going to be, but what if man 2 actually was walking after or behind man 1? Because they talk about, you know, a smart man learns from his failures, a wise man learns from the failures of others, you know? So you went and just blew the shit up. So,
hey, you talking about things
12,
that
15, yeah.
Hey, look.
What
talk about things that was passed down from previous generations.
Mm-hmm.
My Duke say she got, man, I told her she gonna have to write a book of all her sins. She say you ain't got to wallow in the mud and know it's dirty. You know what I mean? So something don't require, some people just want to see, they just want to test, they just want to know for sure.
See, here's my thing to push back against that.
Say that.
All of the things that really matter, the things that you really hold in your life, the the relationships and everything like that you really want to hold closest to you, you're gonna bump your head. Whether it be your relationship with your children, y'all are gonna disagree at some point. The relationship with your lady, y'all are not gonna agree on things when it comes to raising the kids, possibly. Probably something as simple as what the wedding's supposed to look like. You see what I'm saying? Your job. There are gonna be days where you go to your job and you're gonna be like, let somebody say one more thing to me. Let somebody say one more thing to me. I swear to God, I'm gonna flip every desk in here. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't matter what phase of your life that you're going. You can learn from other people's mistakes. Yeah, you know not to touch the stove. You know it's hot. But anybody who does enough cooking, you've been burnt by the stove once or twice. If you in the trenches long enough, you're gonna get some bruises. You're gonna get some bumps. And the people who learn from other people's mistakes, they are smart. It's cool, but how do you really know how you're going to react when you take an L until you take one?
The value of the L is not in the loss, but in the lesson.
Which I understand.
So
but people who live their life and all they've been doing is winning, they don't know how to take an L.
You'll take L's, but it's certain category of L you ain't trying to take. I tell my nephews and the young men that I have reached to, I say, hey, listen, live your life, take your lumps, take it like a man, but try not to make the mistakes that you can't come back from. Don't go tattoo your face up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, it's simple things that you can do to change how your life goes, or not do for that matter.
Now, there is a difference between being ignorant and being stupid.
What's the difference?
The difference is being ignorant is when you make a decision or make a mistake without knowing. Being stupid is making a bad decision knowing the consequences. You know the consequences of getting a tattoo on your face. You ain't gonna get a job nowhere, dog. You know the consequences of catching a felony. You got an F on your report card, you're not gonna get a job, dog. But there are mistakes that we make as young men sometimes that are just lack of knowing how to maneuver through life. There's been a time we probably got in an argument with somebody just because you just didn't really know how to handle that situation the right way. You see what I'm saying?
I got one more caveat, Chef. Take it off of things that you should be able to obviously recognize. Let's take what we was talking about tonight. Corporal punishment, or physically discipline or reprimanding your child. Perhaps I don't know your circumstances, but I know I was raised in a house where ass whoopings were plentiful and shoes were thrown. My mom was an expert high heel. She can curve that bitch around the corner and get you in the back. Caught a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? And
Sandal Samurai.
I didn't see that as abnormal. That's like how my whole family rock. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't see it as. But the question is, do you pass those same habits down to your children, because that's how you were disciplined?
So I was raised in the same household. My grandmother, she raised 6 children. She had this big wooden spoon. You was talking about it earlier, Chef. She had this big wooden spoon that would be on the wall in the kitchen. You know what that spoon meant if it came.
Yeah, they all got them. They get that when they become a grandmother.
You know what I'm saying? So
it's like the stork drops the spoon off and shit.
Yeah. So I was definitely raised by that. Now here's where I'm at with it. I have 3 children, and in terms of corporal punishment, I try to use me physically harming the child, like me whooping them, spanking them, something like that. I try to use that as minimal as possible. My oldest child in particular, she's a cheerleader. She's active. My favorite thing to do with her is have her wall sits, like drumline. When they was holding out the drumsticks, I have her sit there and I have a complete we have a whole conversation. I need you to understand that I'm having you sit right here because you made a decision after. Like we have a whole conversation. Yeah, I need you to feel this. I need you to feel the pain, because if you continue making decisions like this, there's going to be pain that comes your way.
You sounded like my granny with the Bibles, yo. I had to be on my knees, right? If you're Haitian and they call it mettez à genoux, right? Mettez à genoux means on your knees. So get on your knees, and you had to stay on your knees and have your arms outstretched. And she would have a Bible in one hand and a hymn book in the other, and they were not the same weight. So not only are you having to hold your hands out, your arms out, right? But now you're trying to balance imbalanced weights, and you couldn't get up. There's,
Knees on fire.
bruh.
And where I got that from was I was the oldest of three boys, right? So my father raised three boys, and he realized that there's gonna be a point. He makes a joke about it all the time. There's gonna come a point to where y'all probably gonna want to jump me. So whooping three boys throughout their entire life, you just can't like if I'm 16, my brother's 14, the other one's 13. We're not gonna just continue taking these whoopings, bruh. Right? So he had to adjust his process as well. So like Chef was just saying, cherry pickers was my dad's favorite one. Cherry pickers, arm straight out, and all you do is just touch your fingers. So now you feel it coming from your fingertips all the way up your forearm, your shoulders, all of it. And it was the same thing with him. He would
I
sit
left
there and
something out.
explain while you're here.
I left something out. Natalie reminded me. While we on our knees, it would either be, the back rung of a chair that's normally a couple inches. Where our knees would have to be on that, or if our knees were on the floor, they would put. My grandmother would put rice, uncooked rice there. So your knees are sitting on rice. This is like, technically, some folks would consider that shit torture. Like
That's exactly what it is. Hey, look, we can laugh about it now. That's your way of cool what was happening.
The Geneva Convention banned that shit.
I think okay, so Watts, I think what you said, and I legit wrote that down, lawsuits. I think a lot of times parenting becomes lazy. We let a lot of TV, video games, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that is where all the input is coming from. That's where all the time is going. So, I mean, whether it's because you physically can't be present or you mentally can't be present, but either way, you're missing. And if it's not the school system and all of their agendas, it's their friends in whatever district that you may be sending them to. And then it's the television and their favorite shows and their favorite characters and their favorite songs. So the majority of your child's influence is coming from all of these foreign spaces and not you. So for you to take time, that means you a dad that takes time because you got creative so that you could have a dialogue about the offense being had. It wasn't about tearing your ass up and keeping you straight. You know what I mean? So I know my brother, like, they used to think he had the devil in him because when my mama would beat him, he would just get raging mad. You know what I mean? And he would shut down and she'd be telling him all the shit she tell us and we respond, yes, ma'am, this, that. He wouldn't say a fucking word. He would just shut down. And it's like, what? How much longer can you beat him? He's not responding. So what do you do for children who aren't responding to that type, who are giving you all the pushback? What do you do?
To me, and all right, here's where I go with that. I feel like you said, parenting is lazy, right? The easiest thing for you to do is express your anger, think that the child understands why you are angry, and move about your business, right? What I learned with my kids is that they only communicate in the way that they've been taught. So when they're a baby, the only thing they know how to do is cry. They know that when I cry, I'm going to get fed, changed, or put to sleep. Those are the only three things that I need that I want as a baby: fed, changed, or put to sleep. So they're gonna cry. Then they become a toddler, and they're like, "Well, it's been working all this time, so let me continue crying." You're just now. Sometimes when you have a toddler, now you're just guessing. All right, do you want to eat? No, you don't want to eat. Do you want to? You're not learning your children. You're not trying to figure out what your children need, because like I learned what each cry means. Like mothers say all the time, they know what the cry is. Oh no, that's her hungry cry. Go ahead and make her a bottle. I heard that from their mother plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? Learning your children is super important. It's the reason I think that that's important is because, like you said, my baby brother was angry, and may God bless him. I miss him every day, but it ended where it did because of his inability to express his emotions.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a clear ability for him to be able to process, understand, and work through everything that was working in his head. Right? Because there were things going on in our life, my parents, we were moving around, all that other stuff. So it took away from him being able to process stuff. Me personally, I went to 4 different high schools in 3 different states before I finally graduated high school. Right? So it's constant change. And I feel like not giving time to communicate and understand and just process, communicate, like that's one of my favorite words.
Time out.
Communication.
Chef, you ain't gonna hit me with the 7 minutes. No, not today. That was rock. Hey, real quick. I want to shout out all our moderators. Natalie, much love to you, Flower. Loverboy Linsky, Don Frank, and Sherelle. We appreciate y'all and everything y'all do and showing up for us on a nightly basis across multiple platforms. Y'all some real stars and you appreciate it.
I second that.
I third that straight up and down. You guys are the people that actually make this thing go. I didn't ask y'all to be moderators. You just logged in one day and a wrench hit you in the forehead. So that was me, yo. And I appreciate you. Go ahead, man, rock. Cause I got a couple things to say, but I want to make sure y'all take this down y'all rabbit hole first.
Now, okay. So I think who is that? Hanifa? I think Hanifa, she was saying, yeah, but when both parents work, it can be tricky. Both parents are tired at the end of the day and lazy. So you're tired. Those are your children. Those are your kids. They didn't come knock on the front door and say, hey, yo, y'all two need to get together. I want to be born in the next 6 months. Go ahead and get to work. Didn't no baby come knock on your door and ask for that? So because you did have these children, you're going to have to do more than what you normally would. I know you just worked a 14-hour day and you still got to find a way to give your lady 30 minutes of one-on-one time, and you got 2 kids that you got to make sure you show some love to. Do it. Because
it's your children or your lady?
Say again?
Who comes first, your children or your lady? Hey, blink twice at the lady in the room.
Here's what I say. Here's what I say. This is what I believe.
Listen, get the cutty first and answer later.
Huh?
Get the cutty first and answer later.
Don't try to keep it real, yo. It's cool.
No. I got you. I'm going to say the kids are going to come first for the fact that because these are our children, we need to work this together, and then we can have our time separately.
That's responsible.
Because even if I'm not with the mothers of my children, right? So it's important for us to come together for the children.
Got you.
And then worry about our relationship later. The same if we were still together. We have to make sure the kids are good, and then we can focus on us on the back end. Because if I'm down to my last $10 and my daughter come to me and say she hungry, I'm gonna I would rather spend $3 to get her a good meal and I eat noodles. You know what I'm saying? I would rather that. So the kids to me gonna have to come first before her. Your opinion?
I want Chef to cook. What do you think about what he said, Chef?
I'm gonna let you go first, man. I'm gonna let you go first. Really, because my opinion runs the gamut. In my
Okay.
opinion, I move a little differently. In order for me to move the way that I move and think the way that I think, there's certain walls. The walls of my paradigm are not as solid. You know what I mean? I could shrink the walls and remove the walls in order to expand my level of thought. So I want to hear what the young buck got to say.
All right. The way I see it, you
Uh
have to have
oh.
a healthy balance. You're gonna have to have a healthy balance because a lot of times you're gonna have to choose. You're not gonna be able to do both. Guess what? By the time you finish handling homework with the kids and getting everything and then whatever's going on between both of y'all tired and she sleep already. You know what I'm saying? Or she ain't in the mood no more. She burnt. She spent. She had a hard day. You had a hard day. So you cool with not having to put the work in. And now the kids are the complete priority and your relationship is dying and now your relationship is toxic in front of your children. So I feel like if you don't have a balance, no matter what, that you're always going to end up in the adverse conditions, the unintended consequences. So if you put your lady at top priority, your children are going to be deficient. And it's all going to come back to the same square. That's all I got.
No, no, you good, you good. And you kind of led me to a particular place when, in terms of when we're talking about where 100 watts came from. Priorities. I'm not just a life guy, street guy, kitchen guy. I'm a corporate guy too. And when we look at priorities, we look at short term priorities versus long term goals, right? So if I have a long term goal of being married to somebody named Jennifer in 12 months and she and I haven't even, told her that I want her to be my girlfriend yet, then and marrying her is a priority. That's a long term goal. Then the short term goal is getting closer to her, making her love me, having different experiences, and up to a certain point, eventually asking her to marry me. Priorities and goals to me are different. And here's my line. Maybe I'm being too literal. You have a goal, and in order to create a goal, it requires execution. In order for that execution to take place, there's going to be a certain amount of moves that are required. And after those moves, what it is the juxtaposition of those moves. What move comes first? That's why one of the most critical parts of creating an album or a CD is the track listing process. Okay, if you ever heard "Good Kid, Mad City," by Kendrick, you understand if they changed the juxtaposition of just two or three tracks, that CD would have been different. It would have been less cinematic, right?
Mm,
So I said all of that to say the priorities. We move priorities around as as the storm comes. As the storm comes, first it's a maelstrom of a tornado and bricks and all kind of shit is coming through the windows. When tornadoes come, what do? We take our ass into the basement. We take our ass into the basement. That's the priority. So that we're away from any open areas within the house that can hurt us, come through windows. But then the next part of that maelstrom comes the flood. What's the priority when the flood comes? Take your ass to the motherfucking roof,
mm,
right? No more basement. This relationship thing, that's why I came to the thing. That's why I say you go ahead. These walls, the roof, the floor, within a real relationship and a real cosmic connection that's going to grow, that you would want to grow through death, It's you being able to eliminate those walls that you build for yourself in terms of understanding the priorities. The priorities shift. Priorities shift. Priorities of airmen. I was about to say seamen, but I just can't say it right. Of airmen. I mean, I can't say airmen if they're on the ship. Of Navy men, right?
Oh shit!
You know
Do that.
their rules of engagement.
Hey,
And
he
the
know about
protocol,
that Navy shit.
right? Their rules of protocol, their rules of engagement are different depending on what kind of water that they're currently floating on. You understand? So within your relationship, which is a ship that can be moving forward, backward, or it could be listing with the tides, the thing is, what becomes a priority is based on what situation you guys are facing at that time. It's important. You know what I mean? We could have been running to, I'm about to give you a really messed up one, but it's just the insanity of Chef. If we driving and you got the old auntie in the car and we're driving to go to your graduation, that's the priority. We're making moves to go to your graduation. But then if old auntie's blood sugar goes up or goes down, holy shit, graduation means nothing at that point. We're running over to the CVS. We're going to get her medicine. We're rushing over to the hospital. Within a relationship, there is no one thing. We have to be malleable enough. We have to be agile enough and adaptable enough to be able to switch some of those priorities on the fly. You
Like
know?
what?
Say it again.
Like water.
Like what? Be like water, my friends.
Somebody asking for the link in the chat.
Oh yeah. I got it. Truth, my bad.
So here's a question to pose to push back.
Damn, I missed my whole close up. I could have done a close up on that shit. Damn it. Yeah.
He got me on my random looking and shit again. But so here's where I'm at. In my mind, I understand what you're saying. Like, adjustments need to be made, but I just feel like I feel like it's better to have a solid base of functionality, of moral standing, of principles, a solid base, and that should take you through every situation it is that you're going through. So in all of the situations that we were talking about, if we're talking about her coming first or the children coming first, especially in the situations of danger, which would, like, if we're in a situation of danger, which would you say? Is it the woman or the child? If they fall, if your woman and your child fall off a boat and you can only grab one of them, which one are you grabbing?
I can make more children. I'm sorry, that's a bad joke.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ideas expressed by Just Vic are not those Viacom and CBS.
Here's another question to pose, because Natalie's asking, right? Can children be the top priority while still supporting the needs of your partner? I feel like
I'm still supporting what?
Still supporting your partner.
So you want to take it?
Huh? Let me give you what I'm thinking on that, and then let's go from there. As I had stated earlier, taking care of the children, because we came here together for these kids.
So you quantum love?
And get them lights up, yo.
The children only have a certain capacity of understanding of what's happening, what's required, what's needed. You know what I'm saying? For your relationship, like your relationship needs to be solid for the kids, because y'all need to be together to raise the kids and everything like that, right? If your woman is not happy, and those are self things, internal things, like, is your responsibility now supposed to switch away from the children to now be concerned with her, the workings that she has to do for herself?
if you don't keep that woman decompressed, bro, what if your woman was consumed with taking care of your children and she couldn't help you decompress? She couldn't be your peace, your center, your
So
solace. She
so
spent
that's
it all
not
on the kids.
that's it sound I can see how that sounds wrong when I said that. Here's what I'm saying. I have no problem. Like I do it. I've done it plenty of times, countless times, where, hey, I'm gonna take the kids, just spend the day, go have fun. You know what I'm saying? Just go do your thing. Like that's not a problem. That's easy. I think any father that doesn't do that is kind of selling yourself and your kids short. You know what I'm saying? So of course you're going to give her time to do what she needs to do. Y'all are going to have your time together. You know what I'm saying? You're going to, of course, like once a month, twice a month, y'all take a date night, something like that. Y'all are still going to have to do the work for your relationship. I'm not saying you can just act like the relationship doesn't exist. You still have to do that work.
I think you're
Yo,
addressing simple. Go ahead, Chef.
listen here. Vic, I'm gonna toss you the mic. I'm about to bring up truth. Truth is never favored. I gotta go check the oven real quick. You know, chef is cooking in 2 kitchens tonight. Hold
You
it
know,
down,
do
my
you
man.
think? So,
Truth
what's
is
up, my
never
boy?
favored.
Truth?
Welcome aboard, family.
Thank you, my G's. What's good with you?
I'm gonna
You
look.
know,
I'm gonna let y'all
hey,
bears wrestle around for a minute. I'll be
you
back.
know how that go. Hey, you got your mic
Already.
right today? Can I talk to you straight up? Okay, yeah, we good. We in the game.
I was
You hear
mobile
what we talking
yesterday,
about?
so I was kind of I think the background was kind of messed up.
Okay. Did you hear what we was
Uh
talking about?
no, I had came in late on the conversation. So what's the whole, discussion or topic, guy?
The current topic that we're discussing is
Hold on, he came in with smoke, and I don't even know if he was using hickory or mesquite. He was ready to smoke some weed. Yo, that's the dude you ride with. He ready to pop off. He like, who? Tell me who.
okay. Hey,
My
we'll
man,
figure it out
my
after.
man, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, matter of fact, Watts, put my man on game.
All right. So this is what we're talking about right now. The question was asked if the priority should be taking care of the children or your woman. Did I say that right?
Yeah,
Pretty
that
much
sounds.
paraphrase that correctly? Okay. What I'm standing on right now, truth, is I'm believing that the children should be the priority because you and this woman came in together and made these children. They didn't ask to be here. These are your responsibility. It's required of you to take care of these children. Whether you are with her or not, your first priority should be taking care of the children because they didn't ask to be here and they can't take care of themselves. Now, saying that doesn't absolve you of also taking care of your woman. Because in order for your children to be squared away, she has to be squared away just like you do. If your mental state is all up, then you know what I'm saying? Like there has to be that balance. But I know that I'm responsible for maintaining my mental health. Is it not fair for me to expect my partner to also be responsible for maintaining her mental health as well? Again, work needs to be done, but at its base, shouldn't we both be responsible for maintaining our mental health?
You understand that I mean, I'm not giving you nothing that you don't already know. A relationship is a roller coaster, so people's mental stability and state of mind, it goes through a range, and it's not always level-headed and logical, and it's not stable all the time, depending on who you're with. So people are dealing with a wide variety of people with a wide variety of traumas of their own. These aren't all healthy relationships. Matter of fact, the majority of them are unhealthy. So to add that in, I think the question is almost disingenuous because it's only a symptom. The fact of the matter is it's more of a question based in economics.
What is it that I'm trying to make sure I missed. What is the symptom?
The symptom is that both of you are working and both of you aren't don't have enough RAM left at the end of the day to what would be the word? Um, basically to take each other's pressures away from each other. You don't have enough left to give because once you get home after just decompressing from the job, now dealing with whatever the kids got going on, getting dinner ready, getting them set up for tomorrow, making sure all the bills is paid. You know what I mean? The life of an adult is a busy one. So by the time, you know, everybody's to bed and lunches is made and, you know what I mean, bags is packed. And let's say you don't have to do anything from the office with take home work. Let's assume that you're not in a well producing job. That's why both of y'all are working. So then you're probably going to be stressed because your job is whack and you're thinking about moving up and the things you can do to escape. So you making all of these. You don't got time. You don't have the time to fully invest in your woman the way that she needs, the reason she got with you to make these children. And now she's second guessing whether she should have even chose you. Are you really the provider? Because she understands that there are other options out there that her life could just be easy, a lot easier than it is. So now you are dealing with mental competition, and now she's really checked out. Now she really don't want to do it. The next thing you know, you're talking to TLA. You know what I'm saying? And he trying to tell you I told you so. And the red pill community is in your ear now because you can hear him a lot louder. And now she want to split up your children, and you like, we was good. We was working a plan. I thought we had a plan. I thought the shit was going. And she like, I'm just not happy. So I mean, in an ideal world, sure, you should be able to balance these things. But I think the economics supersedes all of that because you need that time. You need some help. You need some assistance.
All right, so I wanted to tap in with Watts real quick, and then I'm gonna come to you, Vic. So you were saying that you was asking first, which ones do I consider? Okay, what's the proper order?
The priority, the children of the woman.
Okay, so all right, I'm a man of God. You know, I have a relationship with my Father through Jesus Christ. So I believe in divine order. The divine order of, you know, the family structure is God, Jesus, husband, wife, children. So that's what I believe in. So the first priority as a husband is to his wife.
Mm.
She is number one. Now, I did hear this. Vic made a joke about you know, sacrificing the children and you can make more. As even though that's a joke, that actually has validity to it. That's if you look at it logistically and without emotion, that actually makes sense. That's the reason why she is first, because you can always make more children. Now, emotionally, we don't like to think of like that because it looks at kind of gives this barbaric kind of tendency. But if you separate the emotions, it actually makes sense. That okay, the priority is the wife. We make children. Then, because I show that my wife is priority, that demonstration now is passed down to the children. They now see how I interact with my wife. They now see how my wife interact with me. And now, depending on what I have, whether it's I have a daughter and a son. My daughter's 16, my son is 15. So the image that I'm presenting to her, my daughter is going to go out to find a man like her father, which is me. My son is learning the role of a man, of a husband from me. And then vice versa. From a mother's standpoint, my son learns what type of wife that he is looking for, how she loves and how she nurtures the family. What is her role? And then my daughter, on the flip side, she learns how to be a wife from her mother. So kids do less of what you say and more of what you exemplify.
Hmm.
And sometimes that go over a lot of people's head because we tend to think since we, provide all the physical necessities,
I
our
gotta freeze
behavior.
you. I gotta freeze you. He said something heavy there.
Get the likes up.
We tell them to do as I say, not as I do. But the way it actually works is they don't listen to shit about what we say. They actually do what we do. Let me know if I'm wrong, Truth. I just had to.
No,
I had to,
100.
in bold, I had to put your shit in bold and underline. Go ahead.
100. No, that's 100. So again, like when we're talking about priority, a lot of times, I mean, we've been raised and it sounds good. Like, oh yeah, the kids got to be first. It sounds good. Um, we talking about laying the table out. Who's going to eat first, the man or the child?
Hmm.
Essentially, and like
Big piece of chicken.
Every time.
Who gets the big piece of chicken versus who gets the Norbit turkey ass?
right, who is basically it's called pecking order. So
That's
which
real
one
shit.
do you distribute to first? You're supposed to distribute to the husband. That's who the wife should supposed to be delegating to. And then so on and so on, and to the oldest, and downward and downward. And the daughter, she will assist her mother in doing so. And then as the table is set, we all sit down and eat together because we got to pray before we eat. Do you kind of feel where I'm coming at, Watts?
See, that one,
Woo! I'm feeling it. Feeling it.
that one.
I hear you all day, True.
I got to drop a little something in there, like, and this is one of those theories that I had before. I'm not equating children to pets. I'm talking about the pure learning process, right?
Right.
If I make a dinner, I'm going to use myself. It's going to be a dinner for myself, Watts, Vic, and Truth. And we're going to be having a dinner. I might make some ribs, some chicken, some this, that, and the other, right? And I'm going to be making based on what we want to taste. And I'm making it for you guys. I have a dog, right, that I'm training and that I'm raising. He's not going to be allowed to eat at that table. He's not going to be allowed to have our food. He's going to be eating the dog food, situation that I made for him. Here's what's funny, though. Even though he doesn't eat at our table, he doesn't eat the same foods and the same quality of foods we may be dining on. I may pay more attention to the ingredients of the food that I'm putting in his mouth because he needs it. He's a dog and there's going to be certain nutrients he requires. So when I look at this, what it is that we understand that she's going to be the priority, but the woman we make our priority understands or has the same level of understanding for the needs of our progeny, which is the next level. I believe we can still do both. Watch this. Yeah, I'm going to get the big piece of chicken. I'm going to get big ass chicken breast. You know what I mean? Little Johnny's going to get the wing and the drumstick, or a drumstick and a thigh. You know the good old quarter piece. He's going to get that. But here's the difference. I might eat my big ass chicken breast with some potatoes, and then go wash it down with some cake. Not little Johnny. He may just get the drumstick and the thigh, but we're going to make sure his punk ass eat the vegetables, the potatoes, the this, that, and the other, so that he has all of his basic food groups and his nutrition is right. So some of it is just mind fluff. It's a big piece of chicken. However, the child may be actually getting the more important nutrients related to what they need. Does that make sense? I'm trying to rip the walls off of the houses that we have structured so we kind of look at it in certain ways. I believe that they can still exist. The kid don't know about how premium the chicken breast is unless we show them how premium it is. You know what I mean? But in the end, the child may have the most balanced diet out of everybody because it's required.
Right.
You know, so that's just a little red herring I was throwing out there. Don't mind me. Go ahead, yeah.
So Watts, what was the second part that you was talking about? Because the first part was about you know, priority,
Yeah,
order and
yeah, yeah.
structure.
Okay.
Yeah, respond to what I said, Watts.
I'm sorry, y'all. See, hold on, both of y'all hit me. You
No,
gotta
that's why
forgive
I was going to come to
me.
Vic after I came to you because y'all had said a whole bunch of stuff. So that's why I was trying to take, like we're gonna keep getting lost. So I'm
Yeah.
I just want to go back because he was saying something about
Mental
about
health.
about oh yeah, the mental health. Okay, yeah. So I think it was yesterday. I've been talking about this for a long time. The problem with us is we tend to think if we get involved with somebody because we are attracted to light and love, and we go to wherever that's given at. So we tend to think that if we get involved in a relationship where light and love is present, then that's going to heal us. And it doesn't. Because number one, you don't know whether that person has their own trauma and their own past transgressions to deal with. And now y'all have convoluted all that mess and brung it up into just, it creates a war zone. I like to tell people to now isolate themselves and do the work with inside yourself. I call it mirroring up. Be your harshest critic. Constantly self-evaluate and examine yourself. We've been you hear all over YouTube this word of accountability. Well, accountability starts with self first before you try to delegate it on the outside. Everything always starts inside outside. If you look at how the game is played on the football field, you have to win the game at the line of scrimmage before any of the play be able to take place. So I tell people all the time, deal with yourself first. Get to know who you are. You cannot be what you need to be for a woman until you become a man. And in order to become a man, you got to know where you came from.
What you're saying right now is exactly why I have the stance that I do.
What's your purpose? And how do you reach the apex of that purpose? And in order to find that out, I didn't know that. I didn't know, I thought I was a man, but I didn't know how to be one until, I went to the source, which is my creator, God. And that's the only person that can tell you who you are, what you're put here for, what's your purpose, and how to achieve, reach your potential, uh, you know, basically become successful in your vision, and then ultimately become the man, and then be able to seek and find and capture your own wife. A lot of people don't understand you're looking for not just a wife, but you're looking for your wife, the woman who you are equally yoked with in all aspects, physically, mentally, and spiritually, sexually, thinking, intelligence, everything, sense of humor, all these type of things. You're looking for your match. You're looking for your rib, so y'all can equally merge together. And a lot of times we try to do things out of order. We try to hurry up and get with somebody because we got this vibe and flow. It's easy if you're likable, the flow is going to be there. And that's why the flow and the vibes that we always talk about, that can create a strong delusion. That's why we're not supposed to be ingratiating ourselves with people based off of flow, but we got to deal with them based off of mind and spirit. Can we see, can Amos 3:3 says, how can two walk together unless they agree?
Agree.
Agreement is the strongest thing you can have with somebody. Now y'all can accomplish anything. If you are convoluted by trauma, mental illness, and lack of intelligence, you have nothing to give to that person. And in any relationship, you're not looking to receive. You should be coming into it to automatically give. And I didn't never have a problem understanding that because that's my gift. I'm a natural giver. I'm an empath by nature and I'm a lover. The way I get my cup filled is by pouring into people. That's how I fill my cup. That's how I feel accomplished throughout my day. I have to pour into somebody. I have to love somebody. And a lot of people do not have that selflessness. So I take pleasure in knowing that, I'm separate from other people. And when you have that selflessness, you don't want to bring your damaged counterparts into another individual because y'all supposed to be filling each other's broken places, not creating new ones. You feel what I'm saying?
Everything that you just said is exactly why I have the stance that I do.
Mm-hmm.
If we're speaking on if I found the right partner, we matched well, we have communicated what the vision and the plan for this family is, we have established that I am the leader, we're going to follow God. Like if we establish all of that, if we have that understanding, and the next step is having children, right? You know that I love you. You know that I would do anything between here and the sun for you. I would do anything between the sun and Pluto for you. You know I would give you the world if I could. You know what I'm saying? We have that understanding. So now because we have children, now there are lessons that we need to pour into them. And again, the work needs to be done. It can fade, it can run away. I'm not saying you need to abandon your partner because you have children. But the reason that the question was posed was because we were talking about if I come home from work, and it's already 6 o'clock, right? Me and the wife get home at 6 o'clock with the children. So now we got homework that needs to get done. We got food that needs to get cooked. Shower still needs to be done. Probably lunch needs to be packed for tomorrow. Okay. All of these things need to be done. I'm going to focus more on making sure the homework got done, making sure I talk to my daughter and make sure she had a good day, talk to my son, maybe play fight with him for a while. That's going to be my priority. That time right there. I'm like the specific day-to-day, that time I am dedicating to my children because that bond that I build with them is going to carry them for the rest of their life, whether I'm with her
Hold on,
or
I didn't
not.
mean to cut you off real quick. Are you in a relationship at this time?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so
Pow, pow,
So,
pow, 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 pow. Hey,
no,
I ain't got no sound
that's all I
effects.
would need to know, whether you was in a relationship or whether you was single. And you're talking about you're talking about being a single dad right now, right?
mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right. I was just
Okay,
making
so
sure.
with in that perspective, tell me what conclusion that what idea or hypothesis that may bring you to.
No, I totally agree with everything. That's why I wanted clarity what you was talking about, because when we initially talked about, you was talking about that you believe the children should be first, and
Mm-hmm.
as far as priority. So I didn't know whether you were saying, okay, you was talking about all this, delegated time to the children in the midst of having a relationship, because I was going to ask, what is your wife doing while you're doing all this? That's what
And
I was
that's
going to ask.
no. Okay, no, I got you. And to answer that question, so to speak to parenting while in that relationship, while we were together, we were spending that time together. We would both be if she wasn't cooking, we were both doing the homework together. Or I would be doing the homework and she's getting the bath ready. Or I'm getting the bath ready, she's getting the lunch ready for tomorrow. Like we had a process where we were getting things done for the child. Now, as I've seen in the chat multiple times, once the kids go to bed, that's our playtime. But the priority, the first thing that I'm thinking about is taking care of them.
All right. So I think this is where probably we probably got twisted. When you're talking about Like everybody got their objectives and their routine. Priority and routine are two different things. Priority, it means
Say it again.
priority and routine are two different things. Priority means, okay, if when it comes to choice making and decision making, which one would you lean on the most? In other words, let's say you got an older child. You got an older child with your wife. Now, you're going to make decisions that are about the family with your wife, not with your older child. So, or it's just like with a general. You got your general, you got your lieutenants. Orders are passed down. You have to have, basically a tower of authority. So the authoritative figure has to have the objectives passed down. The child is going to listen to you guys and implement those. Because the person is in that tower and is above that person, above the next individual, they automatically take high priority. It's just like the soldiers, they're going to be on front line because at the end of the day, harsh as it is, they're expendable. But that 3-star general, we got to save him because he's overseer of all other, militia activities. He's overseer of all plans of attack. And we need everything that he had, all his experience and knowledge. So priority is always going to be basically the person of importance.
Hey, Chef.
Truth
say
the most significant individual.
I apologize. I don't mean to step on you, but
go ahead.
Truth said that the general is most important. Watt says the future, which is the children, is most important. Bring it all together. Make it make sense.
So that's what I was. So let's say, all right. So you would actually allow your wife to pass. Okay, let's do the little scenario. You got your child hanging off the cliff, and you got your wife hanging off the cliff. Which one you gonna let go?
Said I know I posed it earlier, and I did it out of sarcasm, for real, earlier when I asked it. But I really hate this question. I really despise this because I mean, honestly, let's throw a realistic situation, a realistic one. Let's say you're at a.
If you can sacrifice yourself, would you? If you can save your wife and your child and sacrifice yourself, would you?
What'd he say?
If you could save your wife and your child, but it meant you had to die, would you?
Bro, I would take 2 clips.
Hold up, you said, will I die for my wife and my child?
No, I'm not asking would you die for your wife and your child. I'm asking in a scenario where you could save both your wife and your child. Would you remove yourself? You know it was a sure thing that you were gonna die. Would you sacrifice yourself for them?
Oh yeah, no doubt. That's not even
without hesitation.
Yeah, that's not even a question. That's why I propose, because this is the hardest thing. Any man knows this would be the hardest decision that you have to make in your life, whether to give up my child or, the woman I love.
I want to give a realistic situation. Let's say you're at the mall and you start hearing gunshots. Now it's time to get out. What is your thought process? Is it let me locate the chill, like where are we going?
Are you saying which one would I go to first?
Are you picking the kids up and carrying them out? Are you holding the kid's hand? Are you holding your wife's hand? Like, how we getting out of here?
No, this is what I'm asking you. Am I able? Okay, so am I able to get to both of them, or is
I'm
one
just saying,
second
like
another run?
I'm just saying, like
You gotta give me a
the
scenario so I can tell you what
I
my
just
decision making process would be.
like I said, this is like fuck Mary kill. Like this question, dog.
You can walk around the mulberry bush 100 times, and y'all will
So
always
the
come back
reason
to the
why,
similar
okay,
answer.
we could nullify this. The reason why I asked the question is, if I had to, as hard as it would be, I would save my wife.
But not yourself.
I would save my wife. You got to understand.
And this
our
is what I'm sorry. Go ahead.
in my position again. Like I said, I'm a man of God, and it says I have to love my wife as Christ loved the church, and lay my life down for her. It doesn't say my children. It says for her. She is the life bringer. I can bring. I am always fertile until I die, as long as I stay healthy. I can bring as much children.
But if you die, somebody else's life bringing source is going to create.
Okay.
What you say?
I said the thing is though, if you're gone, it ain't gonna be your life bringing source. It gonna be some. It ain't gonna be Mickey
Oh
D's.
yeah. I mean, we already know that.
The reason I do dislike the question is because in reality, we all know that we would rather give ourselves up and save both of them than even
Oh
be
yeah,
talking
no,
about which
that's
one I'm gonna
yeah,
pick.
no,
You
that's
know what I'm
not.
saying? So like that I like
Are
that
you
question.
saying that's? Are we agreeing that's an option? If that's an option, then of course, yeah, I would give myself up. But that's why I said I only gave you two options. And the reason why I gave you those two options is I'm just trying to show you how I look at the family dynamic. Is my wife takes priority because I can always bring forth life through her again.
Truth.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with you about the wife being the priority. But the reason I posed the caveat that I did, asking if you could save yourself or save both of them, would you sacrifice yourself? And quickly, just
So
like
here's
he
the
would
question.
hold on.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
100 Watts said he would sacrifice himself immediately for his children, you said that you would sacrifice yourself immediately for your wife and your
No, are
children.
you? Yeah.
So what I'm proposing is that
Mm-hmm.
without you, after you've made this sacrifice, you've
Mm-hmm.
left your family unit with no covering, and they are subject to the world without your provision, without your guidance, without your leadership. Being the general, what's the army without leadership?
That's the question.
Okay.
What he
No,
did.
no. Okay.
What he did. No,
Okay.
no, no. This is important. What he's doing, I'm just quantifying or qualifying
All
what
right.
he's doing.
So
What he's doing is he's throwing reality at the ideal. This is something that I do. You
right.
said you would do this, but then he's throwing the gritty
No,
reality at the ideal
I
so it can
already
craft your ideal. You feel me?
got you. So I already thought ahead of that, and I'm gonna tell you. This is what I'm gonna look at it like this. Well, I'm gonna try to present it to you. I can't look ahead to something that I can't control. My number one job is to lay my life down for her and my children. If I can do both, I've completed my job as a man. My time is up. That's it. That is my actual duty right there. That is my actual duty, is to lay my life down for them. So it's nothing to think about, because let's say, you saying save myself and they die,
Now you
or
can
give
save
my,
yourself in one more.
huh?
You can save yourself in one more. You can save yourself and your lady.
Oh, and save myself and one more?
Right, because see, the problem was that we couldn't decide whether the wife or the
Oh,
child was
so
more
you
important.
saying
But we
you
said,
was at
okay, we'll take both of them out of it and sacrifice yourself. make yourself
Oh, okay.
I have to ask a question now. I have to ask
I
a question.
got you. I see what you're saying. Now, go ahead.
I have to ask a question now. I have to. Do you feel because I've heard you say a few times she can bring more life. Do you think it is possible that she would resent you for choosing her over the child?
Nice caveat.
And this goes back to what I was saying before. I would never get with a woman that doesn't have the same mindset as me.
That's extenuating circumstance. Shit
So
might
you're
change.
saying, so you're
I
saying
agree.
that the woman would have to understand that you're going to sacrifice the children to save her. That's what you're saying.
Correct. She has to be on that program. That see, these are the type of discussions that when we like to come to the table and have these dates and do all these little Disneyland type of things, we need to have these discussions with women. Like, how do you feel about these type of things? Where's your mind at? I'm not being with no woman if she can't understand about sacrifice.
It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. Chef, cool it off. Turn the pot down.
Yo, y'all are wilding because there's times when I'm trying to bring smoke to y'all, and then right when I'm about to light it up, and then y'all come with some stuff that be like, okay.
Seriously,
The
like
thing is, the beginning of your story, the beginning of a person's story may take you in a way, and I'd be like, oh hell nah, but then he like, chill, chef, chill, OG, and then he bends that corner. I get what he's saying, man. You know, I get what he's saying. One of the things is this: when we choose to be with people, and this is where the weirdest shit ever, right? And I share a lot on this thing because I said that I use this thing as therapy as well, right? I think about women, it's not just about how tight the snatch could be. You get what I'm saying? Because there's all levels of tensile strength, and we leave it at that.
Don't
Right?
do it.
Right? So that don't matter. You know what I mean? But the thing is, for me, I look to see what kind of parent are they. You know, what kind of
yes,
parent are they?
yes,
And right now I'm in the throes of a particular legal process because you know what I'm saying. Somebody believed that it was more important to delete me from a dynamic, you know, and it's crazy, and wanted to marry a certain type of individual and tried to eliminate me from the dynamic. What's crazy is when I
Wow.
look, yeah, it's not a joke. And then when I look at it and we talk about the person that I was with, I still end up winning. This is gonna sound crazy. I have legal proceedings. I live in the crazy state of Georgia, so things are crazy. But if I look at it on the grand scheme of things, when I met her, she was the kind of person that her son's bedroom looked like a freaking nursery school, like a playground. It looked like Dave and Buster's. She was the person that was annoying. We couldn't do nothing until the little man was asleep. You know what I mean? If we were going out, on a Saturday, this, that, and the other, it would ended up being on some kids shit, you know? And there's times where it annoyed me, but what's crazy is I knew that she lived a more kid-friendly lifestyle, even though she was full of shit, and I'll leave that. If she want to eventually come on the show, I guess it's my turn for that kind of shit, right? But, but yo, the thing is, I have respect for her because one of the things I knew from jump before she and I even began residing together was the fact that she was so kid-friendly. She was the type, and I knew, as crazy as it is, and they tell you sometimes when you look at the girl doing some cute shit, you got to think about that cute shit when she's angry later on, when she's tired of you or when you're tired of her, and see how it impacts you. I looked at her and I always knew, no matter what, if we ended up having children and she and I were not together, she would be a great mom because her whole freaking life was kid-centered. And a good part of the relationship was based on her focusing on her son, who I eventually helped support, right? But so in the end, it was like, you know what? With the yin and yang of life, shit, I'm not seeing my daughter because she's being the kind of person she is. But the other part of that person she is was a great mom. She's all about her kids. Me and her were supposed to go to one of the most expensive restaurants to eat in Georgia, and she didn't have a babysitter. Her babysitter canceled, and then I'm ready to spend $800 on a dinner. Nah, she want to go to kid shit because she doesn't have a babysitter, and so now we're gonna spend about $25 at CC's Pizza.
CC's.
She sacrificed a high-end meal, but for the pleasure of her child. It annoyed me, but the same way I said, the things that make you beautiful is the things that will make your mate hate you later on. The things that annoy you early on are some of the things that, in the end,
That's shit you miss.
will please you. Yeah, and so if there's any kind of positive or solace that I could bring to the situation and not be depressed about it, is understanding at least my daughter is loved. She may not see me, but she's loved and she's being focused on. You know, I in this world we have to find, nothing is going to be perfect. Every single last one of us is going to have ideals, regulations, rules, requirements, criteria, and all of that shit. But this life this is life and essence that your creator brings to you is not always going to fall into that mere mortal thought process. So we have to find our pleasures. We have to find our positives and negatives and work from those, you know? So it comes, I said all of that long ass winded shit to say, it's important that the person that we choose, that we look at them, but we don't look at them just from the window of what we love about them. We look at that person as, when they hate me, how will they behave? When they hate me, how will they behave? I got to do that because as smart as y'all think that I am, I could be the smartest asshole you could think of. You understand what I'm saying? And when I succumb to the throes of the passions of my own personal humanity, I have to wonder, how is it going to trigger something else, and what types of would they employ? Damn, that shit was long, yo.
Everybody in here
You
got
got the
Sorry,
perfect
children,
way of talking
sorry,
shit, man.
yo.
You make
I told
anything
you it was
sound
streams
beautiful.
of consciousness. The
right?
streams of
No. That's man. Everything is beautiful. Like I said, I'm learning. I'm looking forward to these conversations. That's why I tapped in with you guys again, because this is was like, we got all this stuff going around YouTube. Everybody's having these discussions, but right now, what we're talking about is real applications. Right now, we're talking about what really is happening, not what,
action steps.
you know, not what's like a screenplay. This is real life stuff. This is really what's happening. People need to understand. We need to stop getting in relationships with trauma. It's okay to be to yourself. All four of us have children, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay, so, and I have a boy and a girl. Y'all have
Or two
Both
girls.
a boy and two girls. What you got, Vic?
2 and 2.
2 and 2. Oh, you got four altogether.
Yeah.
What about you, Chef?
One boy, three girls.
One boy, three girls. All right, so all of y'all got four. I got two. I want two more myself. I want a set of twins. But
Shit. Oh, you planning for that.
yeah,
They got
I'm
them pills
actually
for that shit. They
I'm
sell them at the gas station next to the rhinos.
that's actually a prayer of mine. I actually want a set of twins when I find my wife and everything. But I want to ask you guys, because this is like one thing about me. I reevaluate myself, and I've been learning a lot about who I'm growing into, and trying to really hone what it is to be a man. A lot of us we use that word man so loosely, and I always tell people every male is not a man, and a lot of that stuff goes over people's heads so easily. Like, what are you talking about? And I'll be like, every male is not a man. An adult male is not a man. So then they ask me, okay, well, what is a man? I said, a man knows how to make sound decisions. A man accepts the burden and the price that is laid upon our shoulders. We all want that title, man, but we don't want, for some reason, we have a problem with the responsibility that comes with it. This world is not fair to us. The hardest thing is to be a man. It's the hardest thing. We got the whole world, and sad to say, even our women at our head. And then consequentially, sometimes our children, because they grow up not understanding our fight and our plight. They don't understand until they come of age and they be like, wow, my dad wasn't that bad. I see it differently. And then they start learning like, wow, that man really sacrificed. Like he was that dude. And that goes back to when I be trying to tell a lot of fellas that we got our children now, but how we approach life and how we approach the women we interact with afterwards, that's the most important thing. Once we get all these knowledge, like we having all these conversations, what are we going to do with all the gems Chef giving us, all the gems Watts giving us, all the gems Vic giving us? What are we going to do with it? We got to learn how to hone these things and put it in application in our lives so we can make the necessary changes in order to grow. We talk about growth, but you have to do things in order to grow. You got to cultivate. You got to water. You got to give sunlight. That's how you grow plants, flowers, vegetables. It's a process. We are the very same way. We go through a process of pruning, stripping away the dead flesh. We have to do these things.
A good transition, right?
Go ahead.
So that's a good transition right there.
Yeah.
So, but
when it comes to
gonna start. Go ahead. Right out. Man.
My fault. When it comes to our children, we got to be cognizant of the behaviors that we present to them. Like one thing I've learned that a lot of stuff that was told to me was very redundant. You're going to tell me not smoke and drink, but you smoking and drinking. You're going to tell me not curse, but you cursing. So one thing I made sure was I wasn't giving my children ammunition to look at their father like he's a liar or a hypocrite. The things that I taught them, I did not do. So they could never come to me, because one thing about my children, they'll pull me up and say, hold up, like, you told me to do this, but you're moving this type of way. Like, which way am I supposed to go? And they're right. You're creating confusion in them. And I don't want to lead them astray, because confusion is the author of the devil. So we have to be mindful. Go ahead.
True.
You got to say that again. You can't say something like that and then keep moving. You got to rewind that. Come on, man. I'm with it, yo. Say that shit again, please. Come on.
We got to learn not to create confusion in our children.
The devil, talk about the devil thing you said. That was the one with the t-shirt.
Confusion is the author of the devil.
God is not the author of confusion.
Huh?
God is not the author of confusion.
Correct. So we're supposed to, again, what are we supposed to be presenting to our children? A right standing individual. You can't be giving them things that you're not implementing in your own lives. The best way that you know you're doing the right thing is if your children can do it.
Hey, check me out, Truth. Check me out, Truth. Rashawn Dave said he just debated with his nephew, right? And he says that here we go. As an adult male is a man. There are men that make good decisions and men that make bad decisions, but they're still men. Now, you were just addressing what would make quote unquote a righteous man. I believe that's where you were headed, but there are men and women that teach their offspring and think that they are right in doing so, the things that they were taught to survive, which could be very detrimental to everybody. And then they send their children right there to school with your children, who teach your children all those
See,
things.
and see, this
Hey,
this is
Truth,
where
did you grow up with your pops?
see I had my pops for 7 years of my life, but it was always a man in the household. You know, my grandfather, and then my brother's father. I always was around a man, and or if I go to my cousin's house, we had more males than females. A lot of homes have a lot more females than men. You see what I'm saying? So my outlook on responsibility and construction is different than people. I don't. I'm more black and white. I accept somebody coming straight forward to me and saying, "Yo, you wrong." I respect that. So that's why I understand where Dave talking about, but I can't consider a person that you know basically is out of order, a person that is not of integrity,
Hmm.
a person that doesn't make sound decisions. And the reason why I use myself for example, 28 years of my life, I lived for myself. I had a car, had a job, because these are all the things that you're taught ignorantly that this is a man. Transportation, car, working, clothes, own place, girl, children, take care of the bills. Ignorantly, we think that's a man. But yet, I was hurting myself. I wasn't happy inside of myself. I was hurting my family, my children, because I was giving them a bad example of not being in a household consistently. I hurt my children's moms directly and indirectly by having two different babies by two different mothers. That's not a man to me. A man knows better than that. A man knows again, we talked about the consequences, which are results. A man knows the consequences that come behind his decisions. And he can see that. And he's aware of that and he's prepared for those. I wasn't a man. If I was the man that I am now, it's no way in the world I would have been made that stupid move. I would have married my children's mom. I would have made sure I've been there for my children. And it's not that I wasn't there, but to give them a better example. That example is so important. And that's what we're not realizing. We keep talking about this bag, but we're not building character. We're not building love. We're not building nothing that stands the test of time.
I agree. I think the bag is nothing but a result to quantify and qualify whatever deeds or misdeeds took place to get to that result. I don't believe in that. Just supporting your word. Go ahead, fam.
No, you good. Like for instance, I mean, you know, like I said, back, 10 years ago, I was in the world. That's what I call it. I was out there selling drugs. Still had a regular job. Out there dragging, sleeping with a whole bunch of women. Doing me. And a lot of dudes consider sleeping with a whole bunch of women, especially the numerous amount of women that I had. They consider that a strike. Little do they know, I was hurting on the inside. So having sex with a whole bunch of women, that was my vice. A lot of people go to alcohol. A lot of people go to drugs. A lot of people go to eating habit. My vice was sex. I wasn't happy. I ignorantly slept with all these girls and misleading them. We're not put here to mislead women. We're put here to cultivate, to love, and protect them. That's what God gave us when He said we are made in the image of God. He gave us dominion over the land, over the whole earth. This is our land, this is our world. And with that comes a responsibility as a man to protect, to cultivate, to love. And we have failed that time and time again by the ignorant thoughts in our mind, oh, this is what a man is. No, a man takes on that responsibility. We're going to protect that woman. We're going to protect these children.
Truth.
Go ahead.
As much as I tend to agree with you because my faith tends to align very closely with some of the ideals you've expressed, but I can't be genuine in this conversation and entertain it as if everybody who listens to us is a Christian who follows all of the laws and sees it the way you see it or maybe I see it. So without your faith, because you said if two walk together, they must be agreed, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then, how do you walk with your brothers who have different belief structures than yours, who don't see everything as black and white or righteous and evil?
Well, okay, so let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. Trying to think how would I put this? All right. So let's put it like this. Are you okay with sleeping with multiple women right now?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Are you okay with sleeping with multiple women?
Nah, that's never really been my thing.
Okay, so we align with that. Have you ever sold drugs?
Nothing I would like to say on YouTube.
All right. I mean, you ain't got no open cases or anything, so you should
I
be
ain't got
good.
nothing, no.
Okay, cool.
Listen here, officer. Can we please
Okay.
move on to another line of questioning, please, and thank you.
No, it ain't no officer
Okay.
because all my stuff is closed, bro. So, but no,
What's the point you're making, my brother?
no. What I'm making is I'm trying to get to you something that name something that you believe that I would consider wrong, but you were doing. Because I'm trying to show you it's not about. We tend to get this religion thing and just throw it around when we're talking about morality and we're just talking about decency. Like, it's basically not doing the things that you already know that was already it's always been wrong to do.
Where have you drafted this moral code from outside of your religion? If you didn't have your
Well,
religion
I don't have
to
a
lean on
that's what I'm saying. I don't know religion because I don't have no rules. This is a lifestyle and it's just who I am. I don't attend church regularly. It's no system. It's a relationship with your creator. Is basically it's a relationship where I know him as father. It's a parental relationship from father to son. So just like if you was your earthly dad, your same relationship you would have with him, that's how I have with my heavenly father. It's the same thing. It's hard for other people to understand unless you experience it, that type of spiritual connection. So I don't want to go too far in that. I'm just talking about regular decency of being a person right now. Is it okay for a man to continuously sleep with a whole bunch of women? I'm asking you, do you think that's okay?
No, it's pointless. It's stupid. It is a lack of discipline. It is not. It's a lack of control.
Exactly.
Oh, all of it.
All
That's
of it.
one-sided.
No. See, okay, so okay, go.
Yeah.
I'm locked on exactly what Watts, but you tell me how that's one sided. What? How can that be good?
If I
Tell me.
love other cities,
I want to get my perspective. Can I jump
yeah,
in this
Chef, jump in there.
real quick?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to speak to one of the conversations that if that conversation did not take place, you guys would not know me. I would just be simply using my stuff for, I would simply be using what I'm saying for a big corporation, right? Not given to my people, but given to a lot of people of other ilks. ILK, you Google that too. Yo, man. King said it was on a show called King Talk before he ever appeared on the La Beef Network. And that was what stirred Anton to come and poke at him. He was talking about where he came from and the people that he would talk to. Now, when he made the statement that he made a statement saying that, yo, if I'm talking to the folks in the hood and they want to hustle, you know what I'm saying? And I can't, the don't hustle thing doesn't work. I'm still responsible for ministering to them, right? Why? Excuse me. Because they're going to still choose to do what they wanted to do. So for him, he said, if they do whatever it is that they want to do, then I'm going to tell them about ways to minister that financial windfall to assist their community in order to create legacy for themselves as opposed to just blowing money, throwing 80, 100 grand in a strip club every few weeks, you know, because them learning is important. Them learning is important because the talented 10th are only 10. If there's 1,000 of us, that talented 10th only expands to 100 people, but there's the tactical 90, which is the other 900 folks that's left. So when we talk about, do you think it's right to sleep with multiple women? Single chef might have said, well, chef, you know, so I can, you know, I use my little compartmentalizing stuff. I would say, well, I haven't found that woman that gives me what it is that I want. And when I do find that person, she will reveal herself. The universe will reveal her to me. The cosmos will reveal her to me. So when I was that chef, if you ask me, is it right for me to sleep with multiple women? I would say yeah, because I haven't found mine. And me just deciding to stick with one because she decided to open her heavenly gates to me. What am I doing by locking in with her? Am I calling her or choosing her as the ultimate altar to lay my man stuff? Or, you know, am I devaluing myself because I think this is what I got here and I'm just going to jump in and take it? Or am I Boaz? Google that, Boaz. Am I Boaz looking for my Ruth? We always talk about Ruth holding out for her Boaz. But how about Boaz recognizing his Ruth? So when you say, is it appropriate to be sleeping with multiple women? Not necessarily, but remember, who are we ministering to? You know, you're talking to dudes on this platform right now. Truth, 100 watts, just Vic, and some dude with a, you know, hat named Chef. The level of, we're only the talented 10th, and I include you in that 10th. We're only the talented 10th, which means that there's four of us, which means that there was an additional 36 that outnumber us that we have to speak to. So, is it okay if I ain't find the one that I wanted and I know she exists and the only shit that I'm seeing is the Kardashians and the IG models? Then yeah, I'm going to get some tactical enjoyment from them. I'm gonna get a little snack. I'm gonna get a little appetizer while I'm waiting for my life's entree woman.
Right. So you told me what you're going to do. My question was, how did that? Okay, so So let me just make sure. Let me make sure I put you. When the way I move now, I'm again. This is what I understand a man is. You move with purpose. There's no wasted movements. So how is it purposeful you to sleep with this woman who is not your own wife? That's my question. How is that purposeful?
Oh, I can answer that. I can
Okay.
answer that. The best way to answer that, you might have gotten a little late to the mix, right?
Mhm.
Question that was the impetus for a part of this conversation. I just posted it in there.
God damn it, chef.
What happened? I'm sorry. What I do?
Nah, it's like I'll be sitting here. No, I'm sorry. It's like
No,
you
no.
read
Speak,
my
speak.
mind. No, it's like you read your mind because I had. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
No,
even mean
speak,
to,
speak.
I didn't even mean to say it out loud. Go ahead. Ask the question.
No, I want to hear what you're saying. This is listen. This is y'all show. You don't understand that. I'm just curating this. Say what you're saying, family. You good?
So, firstly, before I do get there, I will say that I'm definitely gonna have to revisit this because what we were talking about earlier. It's something that I gotta sit with. I need to work this out. Um, but it like this whole conversation we having was going back to what you were talking about. If man one falls into two separate holes on the street twice in the same day, man two walks totally unscathed down the same street for a whole week. Who was smarter, man one and man two?
What you think? What you think? King is the only one that a rabbit hole, yo? Yeah.
I need to I want to hear what you because me and Vic spoke on it earlier and you told us we about to end the show 10 minutes in. I want to hear what Truth got to say.
Yo, Truth, what you think about that proposed question Chef got on the screen?
Oh, he like F y'all ninjas.
I
Shut
chose
me up.
I chose man too.
He did. He did choose man too early on. He hit me with the message. He chose man too. Let's speak to that, please.
Um, I read it like I don't know how many times. I mean, walks totally unscathed over a week of time. Like that means, first of all, he. So I look at it like this. I try to fill in the basically the gaps. So I created a scenario that maybe he was observing man one as he walked. And then that's where like I said, the example of just simply being like how I am. I'm an observationist. I'm more of an observer when I walk in the room. I don't make a whole bunch of noise. So the best way to prepare for anything, you watch what somebody else did.
I'm not gonna let. Okay, we made a joke talking about talented tens and the four of us that we have up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So earlier, because I know you logged in a little late. One of them, the joke about me ending the show early is because one of the statements was, well, if I was man two and I watched man one fall, we talked about, smart man learning from his mistakes and a wise man learning from the mistakes of others, right? But what I'm going to do
Perfect.
is,
I love that.
within
Mm-hmm.
this scenario, though, I am going to affix the goalposts where nobody can move them. So all you get is one versus two. And they did not walk the street at the same time. So two is not following number one. Once again, right? Man one falls into two separate holes on the street twice in the same day. Man two, I'm going to add the caveat, who was never on the street at the same time as man one, walks totally unscathed down the same street for a whole week. Who is smarter, man one or man two?
No, I created that for me. I was just using that for me.
No,
We
you
already
got
know that.
all three of us felt the same thing. That's
Yeah.
why we got to do. I want to do the other one where we can't move it.
I'm gonna stick with man one,
Yeah.
what I said earlier,
I'm.
because
Oh,
Oh
go
no,
ahead.
no, no. We got to wait. Hold on, behind the watch. I want to see because Truth never got to answer it without the additional caveat.
Yeah, I'm gonna
okay.
stick with.
So separate day.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, man. Two. The word that sticks out for me is unscathed.
Okay, now we talking.
What about
Now we
unscathed?
talking. Wait. Now we're talking. You said unscathed. So unscathed was the trigger word that somehow denoted or created an air of success when related to the other person that fell in the hole twice, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So now let's talk about it.
Well, unscathed means without suffering any injury, damage, or harm.
Uh-huh. That
And
is
the
correct.
and the example that they gave after that, I came through all those pearls unscathed.
That is correct. So now watch this. Remember, early on when I spoke to the gentleman, it all ties in. When I spoke to the gentleman, Chaotic Truth, on Conversations with King, which led us into this, he was speaking from a place, and I stated I felt that it was a place of a privilege, gift, luck, or blessing from whoever was his particular deity, right? So now, was it luck? Because the person that fell into the two separate holes on two separate occasions on that same block, what do they have? What do they possess for that third trip, right? Both of them had two trips. One went into two separate holes on the same block. The other person went unscathed. So, can you tell me what person A had versus what person B had, or person one versus person two? And there's a reason I'm asking you
You said,
Experience.
that. Hmm?
Experience.
Experience.
He knows what it's like to take that fall and survive and get out.
He knows what it's like to take that fall. But what else does he know that the other person does not know? What does person one know versus person two? I'll just tell you.
oh, I
They
was gonna
know.
go. He know
Oh,
where
I'm
the
sorry. Go
hole.
ahead.
Yeah, he knows where the hole's at.
Mm-hmm. Where both of those holes are at.
Right.
Which means that if they both started on a lower socioeconomic climb, if let's say this was business and we equated to business, person one would have took that L when it only cost him $500. Person two, they have never experienced that loss or that negative or that pitfall, or they never fell into that hole. So they may not ever get an opportunity to recognize that lesson until maybe it's at 50 grand. You get what I'm saying? And when
Yeah.
I stated that, the reason I stated it, I didn't get to say it too much when dude was on the other show, is because I was speaking to privilege and luck versus actual empirical knowledge and the understanding of failing and failing fast. Why do we say fail and fail fast? Because when there's less stakes there, you will learn the kind of stuff that happens. You will understand the kind of stuff that happens. You know what I mean? The person that goes to become a boxer, if he's been in nothing but street fights, he understands the craziness of free street fights. Somebody hit you with a garbage can lid, they might bite your nose off and all kind of stuff. So eventually, when they venture into the real boxing, where there's rules and there's and there's ways that you're supposed to move and the Quizberry rules, they become a little bit more empowered. You know,
Right. Hey
become a
chef, I wanted to remember what you were saying about person You said a person with wisdom. Say it again. A person
Yeah, there's a term
understand.
that. Yeah, that's a. And I'm not gonna take
Because I
credit.
heard it before. I heard it
Mhm.
before, and I just want to remember because I, I
Yeah,
had I had used it again. But say it again. Say it
it's
one more
not a
time.
chefism. What it is there's a statement, and it's kind of loosely based, and it goes: a smart man will learn from his mistakes, his previous mistakes, but a wise man will learn from the mistakes of others.
Of others. Okay, yeah. So the
Yes,
reason why I wanted to go to that because I've had several discussions about this.
sir. Hmm.
Would it be? Do you think it's more profitable for someone that makes mistakes, or from the individual that has never made it? Because this is basically what's tied into this question. So when I use myself to that example, I would say that through all the through all the things that I've gained through my mistakes, I'd rather have a life where I didn't make those mistakes. That's me. How do you feel about it?
Okay, watch this. I disagree with you. And watch this. And you said how I feel is, and what I'm saying is I disagree with you, which means that I'm literally disagreeing with the feeling that you are currently emoting. I disagree with that. And I don't think, because I don't think deep down within your soul essence that you agree with it. I'm going to explain why. If you were successful, you had ups, you had downs, you had peaks, you had valleys, you had plateaus that you had to fight through to create further peaks, valleys, and a higher level, and plateaus at a higher level. It's a battle. So you understand what the success as well as the failure, as well as the dejection, as well as the obstacles you had to face. You understood the impact that they had on you, right? Now, let's talk about the other guy. Everything that he did just happened to become successful, right? And he just everything. Life was his oyster, you know. Life was his oyster, and he was a successful mother shucker. You get it? Oyster shucker, right? Shucking an oyster anyway. Dad jokes. He was the successful and never had an issue. Now, watch this. Each one of those two people that we've discussed has to coach 1,000 people apiece in two separate arenas. 1,000 people apiece in two separate arenas, right? Who will become more effective? Both of them are brilliant, the top of their class, the top intellectual 3% of the population. And both of them have to coach 1,000 people within each arena. You got the guy who never had a fucking problem, who never went through any dejection, adverse situation, everything. The world was his oyster. He was a bad mother shucker. And then you got the other guy who was able to reach the same levels of success, but he had bumps in the road, peaks, valleys, plateaus he had to fight through, and they both ended up the same place. Whose information is going to be more vital? The guy that never had to have to knuckle up and have a fist fight? The smooth guy with the slick hair, whose knuckles are tender and his nails are finally manicured, and the motherfucker with the rough knuckles that was able to go through everything and still overcome. Whose message? Forget what it sounds like. Whose message would be more effective? Would it be the guy that fought the wars, or would it be the guy that ain't never seen shit come at him negatively and he just
Let me
float?
answer that.
Hold,
Yeah,
hold
the
on,
thing is,
hold
the
on,
thing is,
hold on
though,
before you answer
I
that.
feel where you're coming from. The thing is,
Hold on before
see,
you
look,
answer
I
that
kept a
real
little
quick.
window. I kept a little window. This is because this
Yeah,
one is I'm challenging
real,
truth.
All
real
right,
quick,
hey, go ahead,
real
Drew.
quick, real quick. I promise you, real quick. The reason why I put it that way because you brought up about wisdom, about the individual that learned from the other person. If somebody learned, in other words, if we have our sons, we want our sons to become better. So we teach people so they can't make so they will have more of a chance that they do not make the same mistakes that we made because of the pain and trauma that come
The,
behind it.
the mistakes we made.
Yeah, the mistakes we made.
Right. So if you're that person, then you're not the guy that never had the mistakes. That means that you're teaching from your negative situations. Because remember, those I left it up there. Remember, the mistakes are the holes that we've fallen into.
Mm-hmm.
So when we see the man that's never fallen into any hole, he is the man that has not made any hypothetical mistakes. Everything has just been positive and successful for him. So that's why I want to
But it's not that
make.
he learned. So, but you're saying the second person is not he. In other words, he's not coming out unscathed because he learned from. He just coming out unscathed. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm. I just gave because I didn't want to put too much flesh to the situation. It's two dudes. They got the same blood type, same color. They shit. They're
In,
twins. Okay,
okay. In
that
other
happen
wo-
to walk down the same street.
in other words, in other words, put it like this. Like I said, I only had my father for 7 years of my life. Now, I wish I I believe that if I would have had him more consistently in my life, that I would have been able to arrive at becoming a man faster. And that would have eliminated a lot more problems and I would have caused a lot less trauma in my life. It's not that I won't, experience anything and go through trials and tribulations because nobody escapes that. But the trials and tribulations that came because I didn't know how to become a man. I didn't know what that really was.
I'm gonna say
That's
this
what I'm
and
saying.
fall back. I'm gonna say this, let you finish and fall back.
No, Vic can go ahead.
Do
That's
you
all.
realize?
That's
No,
all
no,
I
no, no.
wanted to say.
I know. Vic goes next. I
Yeah.
just want you to. I want to say this and like, kind of like, if this was a plaque, a gold thing with the plaque, the little gold words embossed. Who? I understand the ideal of how you answered that question, but between you and I, everything you're saying, you're telling me you are man one. But that's what makes you beautiful. But your man, your ideal, we all have an ideal of that motherfucker that we want to be, we wish to be, right? But there's that person, that carnal primal being that we currently are. And what you're saying is you're man one. I'm man one as well. I'm man one. If I didn't was not man one, I would never know the need to create the balance. If I was not man one, I would not even be chef. I would be some asshole with a beard just talking shit. But being man one and falling into those holes and recognizing my pain, the tragedy, and what I did to cause. You feel what I'm saying? That's what makes me. That's why people call me balanced, you thoughtful, this and that. I tell them balance is not something that I am, man. It's something that I practice. Balance is my kung fu. That's my martial art, so I don't fuck shit up.
Yeah,
You,
that it's just me with everything that I've been through, man. Because I've been on this earth 37 years, and I've been through enough probably for 3 lifetimes, and that's really been making it very minute. But the pain that I've caused myself and others when I had to deal with myself and deal with myself so I can be able to change and become the man I am today. Man, to be able to see all those demons and see how ugly I was as an individual, that 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 pain right there when you deal with yourself. And this is the reason why a lot of people don't mirror up, because they don't want to have to face themselves. They got this delusion of how beautiful how they is because they got all these enablers around them. Once I cleared all them enablers out and I had to deal with myself, that was a hurtful thing, man. So I'd rather be the person that had the individual, because I never had nobody to teach me these things. I really got everything out the mud. I really pick and clawed my way. I didn't have no support blanket. And in that, it was a lot of stumbles and a lot of situations where I tapped into survival mode. And then when you surviving, you don't care who you bring down, and that's not good. I really hate who I was. And anybody that's like that, I can't stand them. I like they're enmity to me. They my enemy. I don't want anything to remind me of how I used to be. And because that was just such a disgusting person, man. He was selfish, manipulative. All the gifts God gave me, I used it to my own grandeur. That's not good. And that's what I mean by being a man. I don't consider that a man. So that's why I said I'd rather have somebody to teach me the right way, because that's what we're here doing right now. This is the whole idea of what we're supposed to be doing on YouTube. Reason why you got a channel, reason why I got a channel is because we're trying to prevent other people who are probably in the cusp of about to make a mistake or make a decision. Hey, bro, don't do that, because the consequences come behind that. The pain, the trauma about the sherbet you about to step in, man, all right, go ahead. But you can't say you like me, because I didn't have nobody to tell me to do the right thing. I had everybody telling me to do the wrong thing. And that's what I'm saying. I'd rather had somebody in my corner telling me to do the right thing, and not just telling me, showing me. And I would have been further along in my life. Because everything that I'm knowing now, if I knew that at 18 years old, man, I'd have been powerful. Powerful. But go ahead, Vic.
Powerful now, brother. You just had to take the road. How you get the impurities out of gold? Got to put it through the fire, baby. That's just what it is. So I equate that to somewhat of what y'all equate is these mistakes and falling down in the hole. I say this. I'm not a spiritual advisor, and the views I express are my opinion and mine only. I seen everybody picking person one as the smart one, because that's the question, was who's smarter. And saying that the experience of having that fall, or the experience of making that mistake and being able to recover from it, makes his ministry more refined or informed. And I'd have to say, even though that part is true, then it goes back to what we were speaking of in the pre-show, which was the pot calling the kettle black, which is when people see you as a hypocrite. For you to say you came from this place that these people are, and you hated that and you grew from that, yet if you turned around and said now you hate them, or you tried to preach to them the new way, then they could say, bruh, you just came from over here. You used to sell right there beside me. I know you. I know your real name. I know your street name. Who are you to tell me that now I'm unrighteous while you was just right here? Now that you walk in this new path, walk it a little longer. Let's see where it gets you. People want to see results. They're not really interested in your perspectives. So people love it when the shot goes in. They like to see you winning. You understand? So the man walking through on the second, he walked for a whole week. He walked the same path you walked, had the same obstacles you had. Nothing has changed. Yet he was observant enough to not only miss the holes that you didn't miss, that you caught and nigga caught you up. He did it for a whole week. You couldn't go a day without running into another hole because you didn't even learn from the first time. You were short-sighted. You were thinking that was the only hole, which is allowed you to run into a similar hole. So it would be my presumption that that's not the last hole you're going to run into. And it just seems to be that a person more informed, or for whatever reason that man number two was able to avoid and come out unscathed, is not an accident. There's a reason Floyd is 50-0. You don't have to like him, but understand the process, understand the work ethic. It wasn't out of nothing. You know what I mean? So whether you had examples to give you the right ideas, whether you did the reading for yourself, whether you just observing or you just got lucky, it wouldn't matter. When you go to have that ministry at whatever these arenas is, yours is going to hit harder because you 50-0. And that's what the kids respect, whether that's real, whether that's good or not. So if you say whose word holds more weight, the man that came out looking like he was unscathed. Everybody loves Achilles. You understand? That's all.
So here's what I'm going to oppose what you're saying. Something that is also important in making a decision between these two is understanding the habits that's getting built between these two men. The habit that's being built with the man that did run into these two separate holes, like you said, it could show a semblance of bad decision making, but I can assure you that he has a lot more situational awareness than the person that is going unscathed. And this is my personal opinion again, going unscathed, right? Because if you're the first day you go down the street, nothing happens. All right, well that was cool. The second day, all right, well I guess this street pretty nice. By the third day, you're not even paying attention no more. You got your AirPods in. You know what I'm saying? You're not even paying attention to what's going on. You probably in your phone. Like the habits that's being built by not having to make adjustments, right? A great example for me, I started a credit repair company in 2018. 2018, I started the company in October. It took me all of 2018 to get all the paperwork, registration, certifications, all that stuff. 2019 went operational, up on the internet, pulling in clients, everything like that. By the time 2019 was over, COVID hit. So now I'm losing everything. It all messed up. I lost the business completely. However, what I can tell you is what I did learn. Now I know how to make a pivot. Now I know how to make the adjustment whenever the sales aren't matching, the conversions aren't coming together, looking at the advertising money that I was putting in, all of that. Now I learned how to make that pivot. But if everything would have went perfect, then I probably would not have made any adjustments. It opened my eyes to understanding how the quality of the commercials I was putting out needed to be a little better. Excuse me. It built those habits. It's helping me build those habits to be able to continue being successful. Because yes, these first 2 days I probably did step in the hole, but I probably didn't run into anything for the rest of the month. You probably had a good week, but the rest of your year was probably bad.
That's a lot
because of the habits that you built based on that time frame.
That's a lot of projecting, brother.
I'm saying
I might have went undefeated.
I mean, but I hear you. But how are you building habits if you're not learning from adjustments?
Well, sometimes we have mentors.
Hold on, you saying you only can build habits by failing?
Go ahead, truth.
Making the
That's
mistake,
all I was saying.
falling into the hole, making the mistakes, needing to make the adjustments, taking the L's. All of those things are as valuable as having a mentor.
No, I was saying because you were saying how are you supposed to have a habit? So I'm saying, are you saying the only way you can build up, habitual tendencies is by failing? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not gonna make that absolute. Definitely not. I'm not gonna make that absolute. I'm just saying in this situation, picking between these two men, I'm thinking about the habits as being built based on the
Because
experience.
because
Because with these two men, no, because like you said, not moving the goalposts. Like there's no true understanding of what information or knowledge these two men have walking into the street. You see what I'm saying? There's no understanding of what information or mentorship they might have had or not had, how long they had there for all of these different kind of variables. Those
So
things
the
aren't
only thing you
included.
can go by is the results, right? This man went a whole week on the same street and did not find the same experiences. So is it his walk and his cadence and he just, hey, didn't step on the crack and that's just what it is? Possibly. But even with luck comes a little bit of skill, usually. So it's just,
I gotta hold off on that one. With luck, you said comes a little bit of skill. The thing is, technically, if luck is the guiding energy or impetus of what's going on, then skill is not required. With luck, I could just walk down the street and close my
right,
eyes. And I'll be lucky if I don't fall off the curb, bump into somebody's car, trip and bust my ass.
yeah, you
That's
can't hone luck.
if
well,
I tell
usually
you
luck,
if I tell you to take your ass down the street and walk a quarter mile with your eyes closed, and you end up doing it unscathed.
that's called dumb luck.
That
This is a different kind of
thank
luck.
you. You took me
I
to the
just
next place. You took me to the next place. That's considered dumb luck. Why? Because even if you are successful with that undertaking, we understand that is the less optimal route to take. So we can't utilize results as a form of causation or correlation because the results are the results. You feel what I'm saying?
He did it
So
for a
when we
week
look at
straight.
it's right. So when we look at the person walking down the street who has never faced, listen, I'm gonna say it just on some hood shit. You got the guy that reached 24 years old. He never had to have a fight. He never had a fight. Never had to have a fight. Never had to go through no gangster shit. Never had to knuckle up. Never had to do it. Never got his ass beat. Never got shot, bust a shot, this, that, and the other. Never. But he is now a pharmacist, not street pharmacist, like a real pharmacist at a drugstore pharmacy,
Yeah, I got it.
right? And then you get the other guy who had shit going on since he was 12, 13 years old. And he ended up going through this, that, and the other, went through juvie and came out, did a year and a half and blah, 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 and recognized all of these different mistakes. And then now he's a pharmacist, right? Both of those pharmacists live within the same community, and their children will experience and understand the same things, right? Who would be a more vital teacher? The person who didn't go through shit at all? Or the person who actually recognized the pitfalls, pratfalls, obstacles, adverse reactions of the environment and negative things in that situation?
Let me
How
ask you
will
to
the
clarify
person,
your question.
how
okay.
will the
Hold on.
person, no, I can
I got a
clarify it.
perfect scenario for
How
that.
will the person,
Hold up, Drew.
how will the person who's never gone through anything,
Because I got a
how was
perfect.
the motherfucker
Go
who
ahead,
never had a fight teach his kid how to fight? Maybe I should have said that.
Go ahead, Vic.
Okay, so you switched it up now. Okay,
No,
I
it's,
think you
it's
say,
really the
hey,
same thing. I just
now
reduced it.
if my goal is okay, that's why I said to clarify your question because it's the same scenario as the arena. If you got two dads and one lived the gangster lifestyle and one didn't, but now they're both in the same place, same scenario, same neighborhood, whatever. The question would be, who's a better teacher? Is not who has the most full experience. The question is, how much do his kids admire him?
Mm-hmm.
Your kids are not necessarily impressed by your gangster lifestyle that you probably don't usually tell them about. So that's not gonna be the guiding factor. Now you may protect them in certain ways that the other guy wouldn't even know to protect, and that moves the goalpost to a whole nother arena. You understand what I'm saying? But as far as whose message hits harder with their children, there's other factors involved, and it didn't have anything to do necessarily with the mistakes you may have made that will make you better in other areas.
You know what's
what?
funny?
So
I
Can
agree.
I pose the question?
I'm gonna name a couple people. I'm gonna name somebody real quick.
Because that's what I was about to do. That's what I was about to do.
Tiger Woods' dad. That's one. Joseph Jellybean Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
That's two. Patrick Mahomes, the baseball player. That's three. Those are three men that moved within a specific environment that was a passion to them. However, they failed at some point within their passion and did not move to their ultimate potential. But what they were able to do is understanding the failures that they have experienced to put their children in a better place. Patrick Mahomes, the baseball player, now his son is a legendary football player, right? Pat Mahomes. Joseph Jellybean Bryant, his son, Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, is on the Mount Rushmore of basketball at this time. You know, what's his name's pops? Tiger Woods' pops. You know, you've seen the videos of Tiger playing 2, 3, 4 years old. His pops was a golfer. So I do believe that our mistakes, our failures, our inability to progress past a certain level of stasis within our group, within our whatever it is, within our realm, we use that failure to drive our sons to a further degree of strength, because we took that L. We got knocked out. So we know when we teach our little man how to box, he ain't getting knocked out. They won't be able to touch him. Shit, I forgot. Excuse me. Floyd Mayweather Sr., as well as Uncle Roger Mayweather, who is actually a champ. You know?
I mean, that's a very long list. So
yeah.
I mean,
So to piggyback off what you was talking about, like, all right, so you just said, okay, yeah, let's use the Mayweathers, Roger, and you got Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd is undefeated, and then you got his father, who really never reached his potential, but everyone respected him, and he went through some hard times. And they said he even, I think they even said what he went, he pushed Sugar Ray Leonard to the max when they were sparring.
That's Roger. Yeah.
Yeah, Roger. So
rest in peace. Yep.
Okay, so this is what I'm asking. Would you rather be Roger or Floyd?
That's not
Floyd
the point.
every day.
Wait. He asked me a question. I gotta drop it. Drop it. He asked me, would I rather be Roger or Floyd?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
That's Roger.
Wait. That's not a fair question. That's not a fair question. You know why that's not a fair question? There's two people. There's three people. Hold on. There's Floyd Sr. There's Roger, right? And there's another person I'm going to name after I make this statement, just because I give you a little drama, right? You said, would I have preferred to have been Roger or Floyd? There wouldn't have been no Floyd. Wait. There would not have been no Floyd if there was no Roger.
No, we know that.
No.
What I'm saying is this. That's what I'm saying. All right.
Like for instance, so far, you know, through the grace of God, Lord willing, it continues. My son has not been exposed to, you know, pharmaceuticals, liquor. He hasn't had sex. All the things that I've been exposed to at the
They
age of
told
15.
you.
How
Feel
old
what
you
he
say?
said?
Yeah,
15.
don't mind me, man.
So all the things that I did, he so far is, you know, on the right path. Praise God. With all that, all those things came trauma and pain later on down the line. So what I'm saying is, I didn't have me to be there for me when I was him. So I'm asking you, would you? I would rather be him and have a me. Are you saying you would rather be me without a me as him without a me? Because that's what led into all the problems that I went through and all the things.
Listen, we having the live argument of the statement about how hard times make tough men that make good times that make soft children that make, you know what I'm saying, hard times, and it's like a big circle. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? Should you
So
make
here's
it completely easy for your children?
It's
You know what
not
I
me
mean?
making. That's not making. Okay, see, for some reason we we validate trauma so much, and I don't understand that we think that you can't be successful without trauma. Like, um, who can I use? Who can I'm trying to use? Okay, like a person that has generational wealth. They wasn't their dad that built it. Like I'm gonna use Trump. His dad is the one that built and left him the money that which later on was built into this empire he has now. So he has it. It's not that he didn't experience things because in business you're going to have setbacks. He's had plenty of them, but they weren't what his father had to endure. That's all that I'm saying. Everyone is
and
going to go through their trials and tribulations. You can't escape that part. I'm saying the stuff that I went through that set me back. It's other things that I could have went through that I probably wouldn't take away that didn't hinder. But the stuff that kept me where I wasn't growing as a man, I don't need that to make me a man.
So I'm gonna throw two names out at you. I'm gonna throw two names at you. One of them is, since the whole Mayweather thing came up, right? One of them was, I'm gonna throw up a name. Oh
Floyd.
shit, Theodoro Serafima, and then the other person is Luis Castillo. Theodoro Serafima and Luis Castillo. I'm gonna tell you who they are.
Yeah, do that.
Theodoro Serafima, he was the last person on record that ever beat Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, yeah. People
Right,
should know who that is. And that
right.
was all the way
That's the
back in
Olympics. That
yeah,
was in
Olympics. Yeah,
96. That was the Olympics,
yeah,
right?
the Olympics, yep.
Okay, let's move forward. Professionally, legends, judges, legendary judges. I'm into boxing, you know what I'm saying? Yo, there was a win that Floyd took that everybody felt that he actually lost. And it was to a guy named Luis Castillo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Y'all can find those fights.
No,
One was an
I
official
pay attention
loss.
to boxing.
Right. And then the other one was his first emotional loss that people noticed after he became a professional. If you tell me that that man did not learn from those two L's, I will call you crazy. I will call you crazy. I believe they tell you, man, iron sharpens iron, steel sharpens steel, pressure busts pipes. You know what I mean? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We learn from our mistakes. We learn from the mistakes of others. And I critically believe that how we perceive things in life has an impact on how we're gonna move, where we're gonna move, what's gonna be the next level of progression. You know, I mean, there was I was talking. There was this whole theory that I had about a certain. There was a movie that was out there. I had a specific theory. Why? Because I believe that if there's 100 of us in this room, and I have a painting that I made maybe 2 hours ago, and have all of you look at it, each of you will have some really profound, resonant meaning based on that particular painting that I did. 100 people, and let's say if 100 people received a hundred different meanings from that painting,
Yeah, our perception different.
did it mean that any of it was wrong? Even though my perception and my motivation and the impetus for me painting that thing was one thing, and those 100 people see 100 other ideas, that means there's 101, right? Does it make any of them wrong?
No, that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's what I was saying for me, because again, we all have our lives. Again, we all been through what we've been through. We all made the mistakes. We all basically stepped in those holes. What I'm saying for me, I'll put it like this: there are two types of holes. Those that are self-inflicted, and those that are just the regular trials and tribulations of life, things that you can't escape because of the cards you are dealt with. The self-inflicted things that I placed upon myself because of I didn't have the proper wisdom, I can do without that. The normal things that probably all of us have experienced, you know, probably having the same stereotype if, we brought up in, single mom, dad, you know, was taken away through street violence, things like that. Those type of things that you have experienced, that's still trauma and trials you have to work through. Me not having my dad because I can use this example. Do I think it's better that I had my dad at 7, or do I think it's better if I had my dad longer? I'm gonna tell you honestly. Now, this is probably a shock people. Because of who my dad was and who I later on found out who he was, I do not believe I would have been shaped into the man I am today. I would have followed behind him. And let's say me and his relationship, I knew love from him. A lot of other people, they didn't know that side. I'm going to just basically leave it at that part. And a lot of things that showed up in my life later on from me having his DNA, those things showed up.
Yo, I gotta thank you, man. Yo, I just want to send a special shout out to say thank you, because we exist. I always call this YouTube universe claymation fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And you just took the opportunity to be real, be open, and tell us that, yo, my pop's message at that time was not the message that I needed. So I just want to say thank you for you being able to be honest and open enough to share that, because we exist in a world with a lot of fake folks, and they would have just latched onto a particular point. So I wanted to thank you for sharing that point, because to be able to understand that, yo, nah, my pops was not the motherfucker that was gonna be able to teach me about this, because he was this, that, and the other. That takes a level of honesty. So I'm just sending you the love, man. Giving you the flowers now, saying thank you for keeping it that real with us.
Likewise.
Already, bro. I appreciate it. You know, that's the only way. I mean, only way I know how to be is honest. I mean, that's the only way we're going to able to really get to the root of things. But yeah, I had to be honest. Like when, you know, I learned about him. What I known about him, every time we was around, the love was quality. He made me feel special. I was important to him. So that's all I knew him as, you know, that's my dad. But people loved him, but the level of fear that a lot of people had about him. I was taught that it's better to be respected than fear from where I come from. A lot of people are dead. I live in Baltimore, and a lot of people are dead because of the type of fear that was placed upon them. You know, I can go anywhere in the city and be known, and you know, I'm well respected because first and foremost, I give respect. That's how I carry myself. And I was taught it's better to be respected than fear because when you fear, people will take your life. They don't know no other way than to get rid of you. Because the worst thing that we hate is when we're afraid. We hate that about ourselves, and we want to eliminate that. So, and that's what, you know, consequentially it happened to him. And you know, later on in life, I probably wouldn't have seen 37. I probably wouldn't have got a chance to watch my children graduate from elementary school, middle school, and now they're in the 10th grade, 2 years getting ready to graduate, if I was to follow that example. So that's why I was saying, like, certain things I just wish I could have done without that. Not the things that I've been through, because, for instance, I'll give you this, the situation when I got married and my marriage ended in divorce. But through that, because of the experience with my wife, I actually learned how to demonstrate unconditional love. For the first time in my life, I learned what love is through that pain. That right there, I wouldn't change. Because through that pain, I got closer to God. And I learned how to truly love somebody. And for the first time, I put someone above myself. I actually exemplified what it means to love your wife as Christ loved the church, to be endlessly forgiving and understanding that this is an individual with their trauma. And then inevitably, I knew as a man also, I have to take on this burden because, number one, I should have made a better decision. Hence the point why I'm so patient now, and that I will never involve myself with somebody that is trauma filled, because I knew that it's just going to breed destruction, and I'm not going to fail my God again. So
I
that
feel
right
you.
there, I wouldn't change that situation with my wife. That took me to a different level and understanding as a man that part, it can't be replaced.
So I got to stop you for a minute.
Go ahead.
And this is very important. And somebody said something, and this garden is a beautiful garden, and we do listen to the noises the flowers make. Yo, it seems like the garden is saying that this shit is like a freaking sausage party right now, bro. Can we get some a flower? If not two, at least can we get one flower in here to represent the
Natalie,
estrogen,
where you
and
at? You here?
not just make this a testosterone party in this motherfucker?
Yeah,
You ain't got to cam up. You can keep your bonnet on.
yeah,
Right.
Red
You
Simmons
can
ain't
keep
gonna
the
get
yeah.
bonnet on. You can keep the little furry baby star
you.
slippers and shit. Just come on, say something, man. It's
Huh?
not just us. But I'm afraid of Sherelle, because Sherelle
Big
come
damn
in here.
pork.
Sherelle will bring you motherfucking church, and you're gonna be in here till
Okay,
6
fine.
a.m. Baby. Baby. Come on, where my flowers at, man? We need y'all, yo. Come on, man. You don't got the cam up. You know what I'm saying? You don't got the cam up. But when we know, the church gonna be shut
So,
down
Vic,
when Pastor Sherelle come through now.
any
So
any of you guys playing? I already know Chef want to get married. You guys trying to get married? Watts, Vic.
Some point.
That's an ongoing battle.
remember, I'm the older
Been
dude, so
married
I
before,
actually
what?
have an opinion for both of them. Because I'm the older dude, but I
What, you
gotta
been
allow
married
them
before?
to answer first.
What'd you say, Vic?
What? You been married before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I could tell.
He's speaking from experience. I can't speak to that.
I could tell.
Yeah, that's an
More
ongoing battle.
serious.
That's all I.
You see that look in his
That's
face?
it. To be respectful. Yeah, that's an ongoing battle.
Okay.
I feel you, bro.
Say less, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, but in everything that I've been listening to, again to confirm why I chose the way that I did. Nobody's gonna go through life perfect. So if you're lucky or blessed or privileged enough to not really experience any trials and tribulations, then cool. Like, get it how you live. But the truth of the matter is, everybody's gonna step in a hole. They're gonna roll their ankle. They're gonna trip over a skate. Everybody's gonna end up stumbling at some point. So what's important is, like I've heard you make reference to getting lessons from your father quite a few times, and what that shows me is your father had to roll his ankle a couple of times to tell you how to deal with stepping in a hole. He had to cut his hand on the knife a couple of times in order to tell you how to deal with setting the microwave on fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody, like, those L's that you take, like the
Putting
matter of fact,
the fork in the microwave.
yeah, like, or putting the noodles in there with no water. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think what Chef said earlier, he made the analogy of two speakers being in a room with 1,000 people, and who's going to be able to affect them more. The reason I say the one that has experienced the trouble is going to be able to do it is because when he's talking and he's giving his experience, he's going to say, well, during my journey, I faced these problems. And then somebody's going to stand up and they say, well, I didn't experience those things. This is what I experienced. Well, I can tell you why it would be this, like, you'd be able to give more game, because everybody's going to experience different stuff. If you haven't experienced your trouble, you can't tell anybody how to get through nothing. So you've been with the woman, you've gotten married, you're not with her anymore. So now you're able to tell your son how he can deal with breaking up with his girlfriend when he's 16.
Watch,
You know what I'm saying?
I gotta push back, baby. I thought it was wisdom to learn from other people. Now, if we walking through this life with blind, hold on, cuz, hold on, let me ride.
No. I'm in agreement. I'm in
Okay.
agreement. Go ahead. That's what
I didn't even hear you talking. I just
Yeah.
wanted to watch. Hey,
Nah, that was the way he says amen.
hey, okay, for sure. Now, if you're not walking through this life with blinders on, you're gonna be able to learn from others' experience. I got two older brothers. They 9 and 11 years older than me. One of them went to prison, one of them went to college. I went to the military. I didn't do neither one, but I wanted to be both.
But you made your own mistake. You made your own mistakes, though, correct?
I made my own mistakes. Now that's where we get in. Now imagine man 2 falls in 2 different holes. Now whose message is louder? Who's smarter? Whose experiences are more valid or more relevant? Everybody, like you said, is going to fall in some holes, but we don't have to fall in the same ones. And our idea is so that our children don't fall in the exact same hole. Fall in some new holes. Get a little further on up the road before you fuck up. And maybe we can hold on to something for a few generations instead of keep giving it all back the same way every time.
How can I? You know how you have a thought and then try to put it in words. Okay.
Yeah, come back with it when you're ready.
I don't think we disagreeing though about
No,
anything.
yeah.
We're
I
just saying
don't.
We
I
in a
just
lot of
disrespect.
agreement. We just moving the
Yeah,
goalpost.
we're just moving. Yeah.
you know,
I actually don't think any of y'all are disagreeing. By the way,
Yeah, we're
and we
not.
don't bring
We're
that
not.
up at the end when I wrap it up. This is what's so dope about y'all. Go ahead.
I just I mean, look, okay, having the blinders on, like hopefully you're not moving through life with blinders on. Nobody. I hope you're not. Like that'd be ignorant as hell. But
Be surprised.
the uh the truth of the matter is everyone, like I said, no one's life is perfect. So I think the matter, like if I say it like this, I think the difference between the first one and the second one, for me, honestly, like I said multiple times, is being able to get. There are things you're going to learn from fucking up that you're not gonna learn from someone else. You can have all the mentors in the world. You can have a businessman. Yo,
And sometimes
Donald
you just
Trump
gotta get
can
some
come
dirt
in.
on.
Donald Trump can come into your house right now and teach you every step to open a hotel from front to back, but it's very like it's you're gonna experience something. You're going to, and you're going to need that to take you to the next step. I just don't. I
I
personally,
co-sign that. I co-sign that. So you
I
know,
Yeah,
personally
no,
just
that's why I said
it's
we're
it
not disagreeing.
maybe it's I don't know if it's the wiring I have or maybe it's the military training or something. I don't know what it is, but I enjoy working through a struggle and making it on the other end, and it looks nice and shiny on the other end of it. I
that's
enjoy
basic
that
training.
process
That's
so
basic
much.
training. Your mind, basic training warps your mind to a whole nother image of just doing things, hard work, pressure. That's basic training. And I'm sure from wherever you from, you got a whole bunch of other shit to go with it. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Your holes are deep and vast. You know what I'm saying? Pause. But you know how that
You
goes.
like it seemed like all right, there's nothing wrong with working. You know, work ethic is built. You know, you want to build up habits. Um, I basically put like this. All right, let's throw this in there. Would I rather go through the experiences that I've been through in order to show my son? Oh yes, I'll be that lamb to the slaughter for him. I go through that for him. So that's another way to look at it. If you're saying would I change that? No. If it was a choice of, hey, you need to go through these things in order for your son to be able to surpass where you're going, yeah, I take on that burden. Again, that's what sacrifice is. That's what love actually is.
I want to add this part.
Go
I
ahead.
want to add this part. I will definitely say that my father and because I would definitely say that I'm blessed to have my father in my life. My father and I, sometimes we sit and we talk, and I'm like, yo, Pop, you remember when I was 13 and you told me such and such and woo, woo, woo? Yeah, did it anyway. Turned out bad. I understand the value of what it is that y'all talking about, like learning from other people's mistakes and the lessons that they teach. I 100% understand the value in what it is that y'all talking about. Like I'm not taking that away at all. Like I said earlier in this conversation, I'm gonna have to sit and rewatch this and just process some of the thought processes that I had with things. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just that struggle, that grind. It's just something about that.
No, I mean that's nothing but respect. I mean, we're all men up here. We're all working. There's nothing wrong with work. I mean, that's part of being a man. You know, My father's word has said a man that doesn't work shouldn't eat. So I'm very like that's a principle for me. I think where we differ at it, I look at it's a difference between working hard and working diligently. I think you like the friction of certain things. I like the consistency in actually getting it done.
No, agreed.
You get what I'm saying?
And
So like you
there's
feel
nothing
more
like when a
valid.
plan works out perfectly. There's
Yeah,
nothing like when a plan works out
you
perfectly.
probably feel more validated. Like let's say if you work in so I'll give you two types of people. It's one that work out in the yard and one that do computers. You're more of a yard person, correct?
Probably.
Yes. You're more of a yard
Probably,
person.
yeah.
It's nothing wrong. It's nothing wrong with that. That means you like working with your hands. Now,
100%.
now with me, I'm both. I'm both, but I rather choose the computer because of the fact that I've been working with my hands.
Mm.
That's where it is. See, we is nobody disagreeing. Like Chef said, he said we're coming from different perspectives of things. It's like going around a tree and we're all on different sides. And each one of us, we're watching the same tree, but we see different indentations, different corks, different level of branches, because we got a different VOP. But we're watching the same tree.
POV, POV, POV. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I know what you mean. That's one
Yeah,
of my
so
lines. This right here. I gotta kind of throw this out to the garden that's here watching. We had the conversation and everything. I literally didn't even think that all of us would be aligned in the way that we're aligned. We actually are more aligned. And watching this and pulling it, when we talk about a micro view, is where you take your lens and you do the super zoom all the way down to where you could see the hairs on the insect's head. And then there's the other kind of view, where it's the macro view, where you start to zoom out from the insect, then you see the leaves, then you see the forest, then you see the earth, then you see the globe of the US in space, right? That's macro lens. I literally believe that each and every one of these rocks from our garden are actually espousing the same ideals. It's just from a different angle within the garden, and it's from a different point of chronology within the garden. We're different ages here. So the perspectives that we see are different. You know, the perspectives we see are different. And those perspectives are based on nature versus nurture, but it's also based on experience. So, why am I saying this? Because we didn't even expect this thing to go 3 hours, right? But it was so dope is that the level of communication and the ideas we were breaking down is deep. So let's talk about it. Is my perspective that will tie everybody in. Person one and person two, they are both equally important. And here's why. Person one, they went through and they were able to recognize where the holes are. So person one, they've been through 2 holes on that same block within a week. Person person one's been on 2 holes within a week on the same block. Person two walked that same area and never touched the hole. What does it say? It says that person one, they may be more tactically related to that trip, that they were able to recognize that trip down the block. They were able to recognize it. Some people will call them lucky because of the fact that they got to learn, they got to fail fast. That's critically important. So what's going to happen is when they speak to their 1,000 people, they're going to resonate to the greater majority in a way where they're going to let them know, yo, the hole is at 26.8 feet into the block. The next hole is going to be 89.6 feet, and the block is only 100 feet long. So that person that's fallen into that hole twice on that block, they're going to be able to articulate and let you know the coordinates of where the failure point are. That makes them critical. The person who's never failed, when they do speak, they're going to be resonating with the group that hasn't faced that failure. And the positivity and the wonder of what they bring when they talk about their trip is going to be a bit different, because there's not going to be any cautionary tales, because they had no negative situations. So the trip, what they're going to teach to the other people is hope. They're going to be instilling hope and letting them know, or in France or in French, they call it joie de vivre. Joie de vivre. Joie de vivre. That means joy of life. One person is the cautionary tale. The other person is the story of hope. But here's the beauty of it. They all speak to a group within that 1,000. So they had neither one of you guys, nobody has been wrong. But I'm talking this, hold on, wait. Man. I'm talking this good shit, not even give me the close up, yo. Hold on, man. You don't do this shit for free, bro.
Hey, get on him, chef.
Right, man. I don't even know how to do the damn close up, yo. That's how crazy it is. So I guess.
Oh shit.
See, look, I took my own stuff out this shit. I don't even know how to do it, yo. Damn it. But anyway, look, I'm ruining my own moment,
you got
right?
closed up. You
Put that
got
motherfucker one more time.
But look, man, at the end of the day, what's the beauty of all of this stuff is that you guys are all correct. You guys are all actually correct. What it is I spoke to a level of 2,000 people, 1,000 this guy, 1,000 that guy. But each of the four at least spoke to a good 500 plus, which means, and we all did, which means that we actually satisfied all of them. The thing I believe is that the song that we sing will resonate to only specific people. There's people that believe that Beyonce can sing and Rihanna can't sing. There's people that believe that Rihanna can sing and Beyonce can't sing. And there's people that believe that neither one of them can sing, right? The point is, though, this whole little 3-hour thing that we've been on, it shows me the greatness of what we have within our male, our rock, masculine periphery, especially with the new generation, because obviously I'm the oldest dude on this platform right now. Yo, we're speaking to some of those things. That's why I didn't come at nobody. I didn't have smoke for anybody, because I recognize the necessity for each of the different types of ideals that y'all brought to the table. So this is more so my understanding of power manifesting itself, and the greatness of the brothers that we have here. So I'm gonna say this. Look, man, I can't keep this going any more longer. Why? Because this is on fire, man. We got to save this shit for another day, yo.
Yeah, this one last. This one
Part two.
keep going.
I'm just what I'm doing right now. I'm allowing y'all to smell the loud in the air like you in the club, but you can't take a pull yet. You just smelling it. All right. You take a pull on the loud the next time. You know what I mean? Right now, you're watching us in the VIP and you smelling it right now. You feel me? But this goes deeper. So here's what I want to do, because I know the way y'all do roll. I be on the phone. Me and Vic already done the phone 3, 4 in the morning. Look, I want each one of you gentlemen, each one of you soldiers, each one of you rocks that protect the garden, to give me your feeling, your closing statement, as well as something that can let these people know how they can touch the hem of your garment in the future.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
All right. What's happening? What it is? I go by the name of 100 Watts, host of Earning My Stripes. Earning My Stripes podcast. You can search that on YouTube. Going live tomorrow night at 9:30. I love those that love me. Chef, I appreciate you for what you're doing here. Final statements. I love the conversation we had here today. I definitely have some reflecting on and working on. We started with Conversations with Queens talking about toxic traits and all of these other kinds of things, and then Chef hit us with the question at the end where we had a nice 3-hour conversation here today. There's a whole lot to receive and digest and break down and everything like that. I know for myself, one thing that I'll definitely take from this, I need to figure out why I said I'm gonna save my kids versus my wife.
Hey.
We can talk about that one, even if you
Hey,
we can even unpack it, bro.
Can we
we're gonna save that one.
Can we do that tomorrow?
I didn't even have to go that part because there was different ways we can go. But here's the beauty of it. The fact that you're even asking yourself that question. Watch this. If your lady, your current lady, while you had that discussion, the mother of your child, if I was her brother and she would be like, would you believe what the hell Honey Watcher said? This motherfucker just said some shit and he chewed the baby over me. You get what I'm saying? I'd always get laughs when my deep ass voice does this lady shit, right? Here's the thing though. The fact that you are currently questioning what made you come up to that decision, that's the aspect that makes you more special than just a basic ass ninja. You made a decision. You made a decision. Now you're not just gonna lay on those laurels. You're going to now dissect it and figure out, damn, why did I? And here's what's gonna happen. If you realize that any of it was built in trauma, or any of it was built in something negative that you don't currently align with, you're going to treat yourself and fix the shit.
Yeah, you're going to do the work. Bingo.
Going to do the work. So the point is, the fact that you can even ask that question, it shows your level of psychological, manly, mate-based, fatherly wherewithal that you're exhibiting. So stay on that shit, my dude. Stay on it.
You got it, true.
Oh, y'all everybody dropping mics.
Oh, you true.
Oh, it's me?
Close
yeah,
it.
whoever. Only lay it out because, I got to close it out.
Yeah,
man.
my fault. I thought Vic was going. But, this truth is never favored. I'm a struggle podcaster right now. I've just started out, put my videos on for real.
We all struggle. You're man. Look, you're man number one walking on the block of this YouTube shit. We all man number one. It's a struggle, yo.
Man, them.
Yeah.
Right. Kevin Samuels he's number two.
But when you get a chance, come check me out. I stepped over into this space because, unlike other YouTube spaces, a little bit more closed in, not open. Came over here. It's more open arms, more of an open dialogue. And I see we're actually, like what just happened, we're tackling tough discussions, but we're getting to solutions.
Yeah,
we're just not talking.
This is your crib. You just didn't realize you was getting mail here already. Just assume your spot. Continue.
Yo, we just not talking. We're getting the solutions. What just happened with my man Watts? That's a blessing. I learned a lot today that I'm gonna take in. I'm gonna watch this video over probably a couple of times to, like you say, digest, because it was so much that y'all gave, and I'm always looking forward to learning. The smartest person in the room is the one that doesn't think he's the smartest. He's the one that's always open and looking to learn. And that's how I approach my life every single day. You know, it doesn't matter sex, age, who you are. I believe I can learn from it. And the dialogue that we had, it was peaceful, it was straightforward, it was respectful, which is number one for me. It was open, it was honest, it was meant. You know, this is how a man's space is supposed to be. It's supposed to be direct. It's supposed to be, you know, have that fluidity. And that's what I got here from the first day. So I returned to it. And that's what how you supposed to approach life. The more open arm you are and you're receiving, people gravitate to that. And that's what I was talking about, that light and that love. When you give off of that, you attract all types of people, some good and some bad. But you are a lightning rod. And over here, that's what I felt. And I said, here I see like-minded individuals. We are different, you know, in our story, our upbringing, our beliefs. But our vision is we all are solutionists. We want to solve and be a part of the solution of helping others. So that's why I greatly appreciate everything y'all doing over here. You know, Watts, I just seen him on here today, but Vic was yesterday. You know, Chef, we chopped it up yesterday as well. You know, Lord willing, we can continue this. And you know, for me, it was a blessing. Like I said, I can't thank you guys enough. You know, that's all I have to say. You know, I greatly appreciate you guys, and I hope that you know, I was able to bring some type of insight, you know, to you guys, and hopefully, you know, what I offer don't fall on deaf ears. I just want to be have an effect, you know, to be a part of something. You know?
Even if you don't bring insight, it's okay. Insight is that we all love cake. Insight is the icing, but you brought truth. Truth is a necessary ingredient to that cake. So even if you didn't bring the extra shit, you brought truth, which is the thing that we need for the cake anyway. So that is what we needed. So I appreciate you, and I want you to keep bringing it. If you see me like, oh man, Chef said some bullshit, I want you to challenge me. Guess
Already.
what? It makes me better. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not as smart as everybody thinks, man. I just listen to all the people that think I'm smart. Think about that for a minute, bro. I learned from the people that think I'm smart.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that all the smartest people that are sitting there with all the hubris in the world, standing on their soapbox, sitting there preaching to everybody else about their self-aggrandized greatness. In that same audience, I'm sitting there listening to all of the audience. So then who's smarter after that? You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
This is your place, bro. Just come and take your fucking spot in the garden and do what you do. And the garden is better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Straight up and down.
I'm
So
already going to
welcome to your crib.
yeah, greatly appreciate it. I'm definitely going to challenge you guys. I mean, and I
Do
expect nothing else from you guys. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way I know how to grow. You know, that's where, like you said, the pressure bust pipes. Pressure also build diamonds. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I look forward to. So, you know, I feel as though we have men over here that can take how my delivery. Because again, I'm honest and I'm straightforward. And a lot of people,
it rubs people the wrong way. But I've only been around honest men, so I don't know how no other way to be. You feel what I'm saying? They're not used to like I say, authenticity. They're not used to somebody direct. They take it comes off kind of coarse sometimes, but it's not. It's actually dipped in love. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah. All right,
Dipped
go
in
ahead.
love. He made that shit sound like a chocolate covered strawberry. He know you trying to get laid. He talking to the flowers right
Hey,
now. That's
hey,
bullshit.
hey,
Dipped in love. That
he gonna
sounds
save
like
that. He gonna save
crazy
that
shit
woman.
now, man. Look, now we got to put you in. You just hit us with some player love. He said dipped in chocolate. Every all the women in the planet, white, black, Chinese, dip some shit in chocolate, man. Yeah, that's fucked up, man. You cheating on that.
Hey,
That's a cheat code.
So you 20 years old up there. Go ahead,
hey,
Vic.
Chef. Let me give you these last words so you can close.
This is y'all show. I'm just curating it, bro. Go ahead, fam.
Hey, look, I just want to show some love to the whole fam out here. You know what I'm saying? What the funk is this? Mr. Rucker, Rashawn Dave, M to the third, Mr. Best in the world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that stepped up to this platform, everybody that's, you know what I'm saying, kicking it with the folks, you know what I'm saying? Let it be known that it's real. Listening to these podcasts so that at least you can say you got another perspective. You know what I mean? And now your world is a little more round. So when you run into people in other situations, you have a little more patience and understanding. Because you understand that there's more than one kind of struggle. So even if yours was a life that you didn't fall into many holes, you don't have to sit there and judge your brother when he in a hole. You just gonna reach your hand down and help him out. Because you understand that just how it go. You might fall in one a little bit further down the street. Same people you see on your way up is the ones you see on your way down. You know what I'm saying? And that just country game, you know what I'm saying? And you don't really gotta look too hard for it. You can just look around you. So I mean, if this 3 hour conversation culminated in just uplifting my brother enough to show him some other perspectives, because sometimes I just push back for the sake of the conversation. But for him to go into complete introspection, he stopped talking. He was in his world. Now he was receiving it, but he was doing calculations. He's a thinker. That's why he always in that position. He thinking. You know what I'm saying? So now he own it. You know what I'm saying? And now he recalibrating. And what's gonna happen is if you come up with the same conclusion, you're gonna be even more sure. So nobody's gonna be able to even question it because you already thought it all the way through. You know what I'm saying? It's not an emotion, it's logic now. You know what I'm saying? So I support you, brother. I support the podcast. I support the movement. And it's a great show. Let's do it again. Part
I
2.
want to say for the record, much love and shout out to the chat because you mother chos are hilarious.
Yeah, they going crazy.
Dave, chill out, bro. Chill out.
Yo, I just
Don't be careful. They show up under your porch. You know what I mean?
Don't do that.
Well, cool. If you want to show up, follow me on Instagram at 100watts_25. I ain't scared. What's up? Pull up.
He said pull
Freeze
up.
music.
Now, I want to make sure that everybody listen. The $3 is up there. I want to make sure that each and every single one of you plug whatever the hell you got going on. So I'm gonna give you that opportunity.
Go ahead, Watts.
Like I said, man, Earning My Stripes podcast. Make sure you search that. Earning My Stripes podcast. We'll be going live 30 tonight. Shout out to my co-hosts, Super Bert and Rob. Tonight we talking about interracial relationships.
Wait, y'all doing it tonight?
9:30 tonight.
Oh, what state
okay.
is it, bro?
I'm in
Hawaii?
VA. I'm in VA.
You in VA?
Yeah, he on my
Oh,
time.
9:30 later.
No, not 9:30. No, bro. I'm about to take me a nap and go to work. Come back.
Oh, okay, 9:30 p.m. Right?
Yeah, he talking about PM. He talking about Eastern time.
Yeah, I'm the chef vampire. I'm vampire chef, so don't mind
See,
me.
that's why.
It's still
That's exactly
yesterday
why most of
first.
the time I communicate in military time.
Right,
Yeah,
right. So any of the other brothers, I want to make sure that you hustle your pack right now because you guys were part of the success of this proverbial corner or block. So get your pack off. Let us know about your blue magic.
yo, funny. Nah,
Go
Truth is
ahead.
Never Favorite podcast. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna do a live or a upload or whatever. I'm just starting out for real, just getting my feet wet, and hopefully it builds some consistency. As
That's it.
long as I build with you guys, I know everything. It'll keep being fluid and it'll take off.
Get at me, man. You got ideas. You got ways that you feel about certain things. You get what I'm saying? You got a voice. Hit me up, Chef Chupino. It's gonna be Chef and then space and then Chupino at gmail.com. So
Already. But I'm
you know what I'm
like I
saying?
did today, last couple of days. I'm gonna just keep coming over here, chop it up with you, for real,
I'm a
for
dream
real.
weaver. I help artists, I
Yeah.
help producers, I help business people think about the dream and I allow them to see themselves and from a different perspective. You get what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
I mean I'm here. Just holler at me, man. Just holler
Already,
at me, bro. You get me?
already, boss.
All right.
Yeah. This Victor Freeze music. You ain't gotta try too hard to find me. Just one word, Victor Freeze music. Go to that page, hit subscribe, hit the about tab, and then you're gonna see the link tree with all the other links. So you ain't gotta do all of that digging. Just hit the link tree on the about tab. Victor Freeze music. Appreciate
My man got link
Already.
trees and shit. All I got is link seeds. He got link trees.
you.
Don't mind me. All right. So, and of course, my man 100 watts, he went up, but of course, he got the watts. So, gotta say what's up to his pops too, because that is the namesake that put the watts on the watts. But look, man, this is amazing. Showing deference to the main broadcast, which was Conversation with Queens today. The broadcast started at 9 o'clock and ended at about 11:30. We are the appetizer. Excuse me. We are the dessert. The pre-show was the appetizer. The main show was the entree. We're just the dessert. We the key lime pie of this shit. You get what I'm saying? We the creme brulee of this shit. Right?
Chocolate.
Right. But it took the customer a longer amount of time to eat the dessert than the entree. But it was not that it was a longer time to eat it. Watch this. I'm about to drop some shit on you. It was a longer time that we took to savor the flavor of that dessert. This is not, and I don't put this on myself. All I'm doing is curating. What I'm doing is I'm walking into a garden and I'm picking this habanero pepper. I'm picking this bean sprouts. I'm picking all of these things to create our organic meal. But this shit is not, it's not like I'm picking a hair out my beard or pulling out an eyeball. This is the garden and all of y'all are within the garden. And what's going on right now was not curated by me. All I did was walked into the garden and picked the ripest fruit, which was y'all. So the only thing I could do is say, shit, man, thank you. Let's keep building. The more that I have these young brothers up here building with you and kind of stretching your mind and ripping off the roof, ripping off the floor, ripping off the four walls so that your mind stretches to a different paradigm, I'm doing okay. They may not do nothing for me, but if these dudes is around when my grandkids hit the planet, you get what I'm saying? Then I know that I did my piece, man. This is my butterfly effect. I'm flapping my wings, that little tiny little wind. By the time it reaches, it's gonna make a noise. So I sincerely appreciate everybody understanding this labor of love and understanding the kind of goosebumps that I have when I see these young bros, because I'll be honest with you, in the same place, there's always gonna be 100 people I talk to. There's gonna be one or two that think like truth. One or two in the next group of 600 to the 1,000 that think like Vic. One or two in the next group of 6 to 100,000. 600 to 1,000 that think like 100 watts. But the blessing of it is that I've never had them all in the same place, bro. I never had them all in the same place. So I feel good. You see me going off camera, I got to go run, drop a leak into nature's altar and, do whatever. Got to go check because I had something in the crock pot, something in the oven. I can do that because the brothers that was here, these 3 brothers, they had it, And if you want to take a last metaphor before I let this shit go, me knowing that I can go cut my camera off, go mute, and go handle my business because these 3 brothers was on there, that's the same sort of resonance that I feel when I think about the future of our community. And when my casket dips, and if they leave these 3 dudes in, even if all 3 of them feel 3 different ways, the debate is there. And I know that our history, our legacy, our future is in the right hands. Think about it. Think about it. It's not about me right now. I want you to think about the gifts of all of these 3 young soldiers that they gave you. They removed their suits of armor in order to provide you guys with a level of resonance to know the heart of that soldier. These are 3 different types of soldiers, but all 3 of them are equally important. We always talk about the number 3 when it comes to certain things. 3 is a powerful number.
Yeah, that's a powerful number right there.
We talk about the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. 3 reconciles birth and completion, So that's just, man, I ain't gonna give y'all all the lessons, man. Y'all have to go to Patreon for that shit. But in the meantime, listen, I appreciate you. Hey, get on my anytime shit. I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna do Patreons when I'm sitting on the toilet. I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna do a Patreon when I'm sitting on the toilet with bubble guts, and I'm gonna call it the real shit.
Hey, little Trina 305. Kind of love. We love you back, girl. I'm about to talk to next time.
Yo.
Yeah. Real talk, man. That's just jokes. But look, real talk, I appreciate the garden. I appreciate the young kings that are here. Yellow kings. You know what I mean? The rest of the planet has not recognized the power.
The truth, don't mute.
Alright? Hold on. You know how it is. It ain't a real episode unless I mute somebody. But yeah, man, thank you, y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you, Garden. We actually knocked out. This is going to be, I'm gonna stretch this shit for the next 40 seconds because this is gonna be the longest post game that we ever did. And truly, maybe a half hour is dedicated to the original shows, but it's okay. Each and every one of you, if you think this is not related to the show, that's okay. Just come to the table and bring up some shit and make a longer show. Talk what you want to talk. The curation relates to you. So, 7 seconds left. Peace, love. I love you all. Thank you for being part of this garden. Chef out. Hold it down.
Love those that love you.
Yeah, love those that love you. And the ones that don't, still love on them so they know how to love on somebody they don't know. Boom, boom. We out.